This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Thrown under the bus.
No. Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
You with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I'm in.
Tori just won't let it go.
No. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, March 26th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. And I'm here with Tori, Bo, Brandon, and I am Sam. Let's get started. We have big breaking news in the Jussie Smollett case just in. All the charges have been dropped in the case against the Empire actor, and his record has been wiped clean. He was facing 16 felony counts of lying to police for allegedly staging a hate crime attack. Jussie, who is represented by attorney Mark Geragos, made an emergency court appearance this morning. Prosecutors in Chicago dropped the charges, and Jussie is forfeiting his $10,000 bond and agreeing to perform community service. Jussie just finished speaking to reporters. Here's some of what he said.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
Wow. I would not be my mother's son if I did one thing that I was accused of.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what to think anymore.
Let's be honest, we're a little confused.
If I may, this just came in, so I want to read this.
We're live.
Yeah.
We are live.
Yeah, so this is important. This comes from Julie Bosman, who's been reporting on this. This is Joe Maggots, the first assistant state's attorney who made the final decision to drop the charges against Jussie, says in an interview, we didn't exonerate him.
Right.
So he says this: we see no problems with the police investigation or the evidence against him. The charges against Smollett were dropped in return for his agreement to do community service, he said, and for forfeiting his bond. Here's the thing. We work to prioritize violent crime and the drivers of violent crime. Public safety is our #1 priority. I don't see Jussie Smollett as a threat to public safety.
Now,
there you have it.
Where did you find this source?
This is from ABC7 Chicago.
This is from ABC7 Chicago, which is a local affiliate.
I've been following all of the reporters who follow this case closely.
Where is your head in this? Because I feel like, as you stated earlier, I have whiplash. I don't know where to go. I do want the truth to come out. We don't know. We're still learning.
We are learning, and all of our information have come from leaks. Let's be honest. Like, the media got their information from leaks, and then we went on a storm about it, a frenzy about it, myself included. We all know that. So I think right now that there's also going to be an internal investigation on these unknown sources, on unnamed sources. So I think that's what's dangerous to American democracy and our judicial system.
Can you imagine if he is innocent, though?
Yeah, here's
Can you imagine if he is? I'm not saying he is, because I know that at this point it's so confusing for everybody involved. But if this is an individual who was a victim of a hate crime and then was further re-victimized, I can't even imagine.
But just remember, Sam, what I just said. They didn't exonerate him. They're not saying he's innocent.
Right, but
the reporting has to be accurate about this. We have to be crystal clear. He is not exonerated. What they're saying is, we don't see him as a threat to public safety, so we're going to drop the charges. That's like taking a plea deal.
I don't know.
Crappy.
I mean, I know you're...
And look at Kim Foxx. Look at the state's attorney, Kim Foxx for Cook County. She is a George Soros acolyte. They gave her $500,000. There's something more than what's going on here we're not seeing, and it's going to come out.
Are you going to be able to tie that $500,000 to her? Or do you know that from the text messages and the emails?
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Wait a minute, because the text message, you're going after somebody's name, you're going after someone's career right now. Those text messages that someone reached out to her, it was because of the leaks in the Chicago PD.
Wait.
That's not what I'm talking about.
They wanted to make sure that got turned over to the
Let's not politicize
George
something
Soros cares about Jussie Smollett.
Let's not politicize something we
He's
know nothing
anti-Trump,
about.
big time.
Let's not politicize something we know nothing about.
Especially given the history of this story.
Yes.
We've been all over the map on this.
Slow down.
Thank you. I agree with it. And we shall see.
Yeah, it
we
could
just
be a
want the truth to come out.
tiny little issue. We just don't know.
Yeah.
We're slow. We talk like this by our desk all the time.
You should see us over there.
All right. Well, right now we are hearing from lawyer Michael Avenatti after he was charged with trying to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Let's get to Kelly Schuberth with the latest.
Sam, Michael Avenatti has been released on $300,000 bond, and we're learning if he's convicted of all charges, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But right now, Sam, Avenatti says Nike is just trying to divert attention from their own crimes. Listen.
I will never stop fighting that good fight. I am highly confident that when all of the evidence is laid bare in connection with these cases, when it is all known, when due process occurs, that I will be fully exonerated and justice will be done.
And Sam, we're learning another celebrity lawyer could be tangled up in the case. Mark Geragos has been fired as a CNN legal contributor after multiple news outlets reported that he's the unnamed co-conspirator mentioned in the criminal complaint with Avenatti. Geragos has represented people like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Colin Kaepernick, and as you just heard, Jussie Smollett. Now, Sam, this story just keeps developing. I'll keep you updated.
Are you okay there, bro? What's happening?
I'm just trying to mimic. It's like, I will be fully exonerated from all charges when the truth is known. Here's the thing. Just because you have conviction doesn't make it true.
Right. You can yell it as loud as you want and it doesn't always make sure.
Right.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This was a sting operation. They have the recording. I'm very suspicious, as is Brandon, of Geragos and what his role was. Because remember, he represented Colin Kaepernick, who's with Nike. So at some point, they tried to extort $20 million from a client he's already with. He's not being named, but he is being named as a co-conspirator.
Pretty big deal for CNN to fire him.
I agree with
I think it broke code of conduct in some respects, but I don't know. It just seems a little
We'll have to follow that as well.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wrong company to go after. He should have went after Airwalk. He would have had a better shot.
Airwalk, is that still a thing?
I don't know.
But the key here is that...
LA Gear.
Right. The key here is extorting money from a big company like that on the basis of not even a real accusation.
Not okay.
BSing his way through it.
Yep. You can't. Okay, so we'll follow that as well. All right. Big news breaking for talk show host Wendy Williams. Her husband, Kevin Hunter, has reportedly had a baby with his rumored longtime mistress yesterday. We have our own sources on the story who say the baby's name is Journey. Wendy recently revealed she has been living in a sober living house. And check out this photo of Wendy taken yesterday. Do you see what's not on her finger? She's not wearing her wedding ring outside her sober living facility after more than 20 years of marriage. Wendy has not yet responded to reports about the love child, but we'll let you know the minute she does. Wendy's been known to be very transparent. My heart breaks for her considering the fact that she's focusing on her sobriety. That's the only thing that she should be focusing on. And I know that these are just rumors, but there's also a lot of weight to these rumors. We've had people close to the story talk about the mistress.
The mistress, and also, sorry to interrupt you, but also, even if they are just rumors, that also can be hard on someone trying to fix sobriety. You need crystal clear focus to get sober. You don't need distractions. That's the last thing you need. So she's picked up from the studio. She goes 2 hours to Pilates, goes straight to her sober house, stays in 10 p.m. curfew. I would think, and this is just speculation, stay away from drama as much as you can. If that means separating, separate.
So I have a question for both of you then. If you're Wendy Williams, why do you stay?
With the man?
Yeah. What keeps you in it?
We don't know if it's an open relationship. We don't know the details. I don't want to ever talk about someone in the bedroom that way, but it's distracting all this noise. I can't imagine it's good for her.
Well, there's also been rumors, and I know these are just rumors, but like I said, with this case, there's been a lot of people close to her inner circle that have corroborated these rumors of him also being controlling.
Yes.
Okay? And so when you are in a relationship of control, sometimes it's really hard for that individual to leave that relationship because they somehow become a victim. They become a codependent.
And they're vulnerable because they're an addict already.
Yeah.
So it's
I know. It's sad all around.
It is.
We wish her all the best. I know that Wendy considers her fans, her family. Just know, Wendy, we are all rooting for you. And you know you will end up on top. We all know that. NASA has canceled its first ever all-woman spacewalk. 2 female astronauts were set to make history as the first women to perform a spacewalk together, but now NASA says that they don't have enough spacesuits. Apparently, only one medium-sized spacesuit is available, not enough for the 2 women. So now one of the women has been replaced by a male astronaut. There's a lot more details to the story. I've seen it go wild. This is an example of stories going wild on Twitter without knowing all the details. First of all, it's different. It's a torso. So the astronaut suit, they break down into different parts. We're talking about the medium torso. She allegedly, whatever she was wearing for all the different practice sessions, it worked for her. It was at the very last nanosecond that they realized it's not going to work during the spacewalk.
And also, these spacesuits are made for 40 years ago, and that's not when you're thinking women in space. I'm sorry, they told women in a letter that's gone famous, we don't accept women astronauts. So NASA has changed, it's evolved. I don't think they did this in a sexist way. It was just a mistake. I think this was
They need to have more spacesuits.
They need more spacesuits.
And to keep saying what you, to go with what you were saying, a spokesperson from NASA said it's more efficient to swap spacewalkers than to reconfigure the elements of the spacesuits. Spacesuits are not one size fit all. It's not like we're talking a pair of Nikes here. We're talking about something that can save someone's life and allows them to do their job. But I think this gives them a chance to maybe push this back and make it into something even bigger. Publicize even bigger. Make it into a day. Make it into a day.
Yeah, I think that they're going to learn from this.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything was deliberate, or I think it was just a weird oversight with many variables. It's not so cut and dry. I just want to make sure everyone knows that, because I see a lot of you going wild on Twitter. Let me tell you. There's another big name brand coming to your TV set. Apple unveiled its streaming service, Apple TV Plus, yesterday with Hollywood heavyweights like Steven Spielberg, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, Ron Howard, and more. Watch.
Imagine if you were this person, and imagine if you lived in that world.
You've got to find the cast of your dreams.
For every character that I decide to do, I envision memories for them. You just sort of disappear into this fantasy world.
So then you have to think, well, how are you going to shoot this thing? Because you're not going to shoot a movie chronologically, so you're often starting the movie shooting the most dramatic, most painful, most agonizing scene first.
Apple TV Plus is now the home to over $1 billion worth of new programming, but it's joining a very crowded field as Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu already dominate streaming. Plus, other newcomers are expected to join soon, like Disney. But DBL Nation, we got to hear from you. Do you like your traditional cable, or have you cut the cord and switched to a streaming service? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Tori, I know you cut the cord. How long ago? I'm yet to cut the cord.
What?
Let's clap to see how many people here cut the cord.
I feel old because I haven't cut the cord.
One more. A round of applause if Sam needs to cut the cord.
Yay! I should cut the cord.
Luckily, Brandon London's here with props. Bo, can you hold on this side?
This
is a makeshift cord.
This is terrible looking.
All right, here we go. Let's list it out. And I promise you this weekend, I'm going to put my husband on it. Here you go, Mark. Cut the cord, Mark. Cut the cord. Cut the cord.
For free.
I know, because I hear you still, because I was worried about losing some of my favorite channels, but you can a la carte them?
Yeah, the whole thing is a la carte now. It's like a niche thing. It's like a menu. You can pick. It's not all 200 channels for $150.
So you can have sports, Bravo.
You know, exactly.
Tori, you brought up an interesting point earlier about the Apple ad having only like actors that or people that seem to be a little older. And you were saying, I wonder why they did that. No millennials, no Kendrick Lamar.
Why?
I think maybe it's because they know the people under 35 already have it, and they're targeting an older audience to get it.
They're targeting me. They're targeting you.
Because now I'm going to cut the cord.
Exactly.
And use Apple.
Now, they have no old programming. Just so you guys know, Apple TV will be all new. So you can't go watch an old Hollywood movie.
Like a Netflix.
You can't. It's not like that. It's
for
only,
now.
Exactly. But it's going to have those big stars. But again, in their 40s, 50s, they're aiming towards a higher age demo.
And the new TV series, by the way, with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon is about the inner workings of a morning show.
Oh, great.
All right. It's not the marching band thing, right?
No.
That's Jennifer Garner's Instagram birthday post. Our DBL Nation says 67% know I like my cable.
Well, it's completely opposite.
I think you gotta cut the cord. You'll save money, and you can still have your favorite channels, including DBL.
What if you just want your rabbit ears?
You can do that too.
I don't know how effective those are. We'll talk about that during the break. DBL's Live will bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, a fascinating story about a former pastor with Alzheimer's. Find out why his family is absolutely sure his faith is still strong. Then, near, far, when. Will not want to miss this hilarious video of Martha Stewart and Snoop. And you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Pediatricians are pushing for a soda tax to discourage sugary drinks for kids. So, DBL Nation, are you for a tax, or should the government stay out of it? We're going to share your comments next.
DBL Nation, I gotta know, what do you think of our host voices? Oh, it's just so beautiful. I can't get enough. Let's go over and see what's going on with them. I said you can still have. Hi guys, what's going on? You guys want to talk more about cutting the cable?
That's true. That's true.
I gotta watch something though.
Yeah. I just think that we should think about
I'll keep talking about cutting the cable. Well, I'm gonna cut the cable, but I've been saying I'm gonna do it for about 2 weeks now, and I still haven't done it.
So if you're confused,
but I'm really just lazy.
No, and people are confused. It's generally very confusing. Here's what I would look into. There's two different brands that I would look into: YouTube TV and DirecTV Now.
Okay.
And you can basically buy it for $40, $50 a month, and you can a la carte it. Okay. And you can watch live streaming. You can watch everything. Now,
here's my question: Can you change your channels that you want to a la carte later?
I have YouTube TV.
Yeah, so he has YouTube TV. I have DirecTV Now. You can.
I'm sticking with cable.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm sticking with cable.
Wait, this
I'm
is
sticking with cable.
What?
I'm sticking with cable. I'm sticking with broadcast with cable. I keep it old school, and I like it that way.
Way to go, Sam.
Well, then I I'm keeping cable.
Wait a minute, I'm going back to cable.
I love cable.
So,
I also want to say they found a dark storm on Neptune that I know people are aching to find out more info. I have read in detail the storm on Neptune, and we will be doing that story. Am I right?
We will do that story
She doesn't
in between
know.
shows.
What
Yes,
story?
she sent me a story. I didn't read it. I will.
didn't read it.
I'm busy.
My goodness, my goodness. It's like Mars over here. But anyway, there's a storm on Neptune. Breaking news. I'll get you some more information. Space.
What Ron was saying is you...
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. And today, that's a soda tax. Pediatricians are now calling for a tax on sugary drinks because they are so bad for kids, causing problems like diabetes, obesity, and tooth decay. And kids do drink a lot of sugary drinks. 30 gallons a year. That's a full bathtub. But the companies that make the drinks say a tax would cause huge layoffs and that the government shouldn't be involved in regulating what people drink. So DBL Nation, what do you think? Do you support a soda tax or should the government stay out of it? Let's get right to your comments.
All right, Michael on Facebook says, another unfair tax. Why not just ban sugary drinks altogether? The problem is with the parents. But hey, punish everyone or punish no one. Mike, I just don't see this as a bad thing because it's like, you know, you're putting something bad into your kid. What, like, what's, I don't get it. What's the point? I get that.
If you want it as a deterrent, with the tax and the hitting people in the pocketbooks, if you want it as a deterrent, you believe it'll.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It'll be healthier.
I'm okay with that.
Got it.
Matthew says taxing is the most boring and least creative way to change a society. I know. I wish it would do a conga line. Sorry. It's not boring. It's just part of the society, and I think it's part of the democracy and the republic. I will say that when I was living in New York, cigarettes were taxed so incredibly high. They were like $15 a pack, and I got to be honest, that was 2006, and it did deter my friends from going and doing it. So if I agree, I would do it. I think it's better for the state to have healthy children. It's bad for medical health insurance.
Could you use
have
the
obesity.
taxes to
or at least cut down
programs?
diabetes later on? I mean, I think it's okay. It's worth it.
Well, forgive me, but I don't trust the state. JJ on Facebook says, how about subsidizing fresh fruits and veggies? Some people choose the sugar because they can't afford the good stuff. I know you seem to agree with that, Sam. I don't. I think, you know, fruits and veggies, a lot of them are very economical. You can afford them. I don't like the government intervening in my life. You guys remember the Boston Tea Party? The whole reason the Boston Tea Party happened was because they were putting a tax on tea. This goes back to our country's founding. I don't like being taxed without representation. When you do tax it, where do those taxes go? How do we know they're going to roads and bridges or to education?
But we
don't know that.
We subsidize animal agriculture, and you're okay with that?
Yeah, but I don't like an interventionist policy that's meant to deter based on sugar. I mean, I know it's bad. Yeah. I will agree with you that. I just don't know if this is the most effective way of doing it.
Yeah, and I see where you're coming from there. I think what I want more than anything is education.
Yep.
Steven says, stop trying to do the parent's job, leave it alone. That's why I think education is best, because a lot of parents think it's good. Oh, it's organic.
Right.
Oh, it's a sugar-free. And then you look at the ingredients, and there's 5 other ingredients that pretty much are the same thing as sugar, but they're worse because they're chemicals that are supposed to do the same thing as sugar.
Exactly.
So I think, I don't know. I see where you're all coming from, but I think education is the most important because a lot of parents just don't know, and that's not fair. Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, they're back together. Raquel Villanueva has the news at the moment.
Well, Sam, our hearts will go on for Martha and Snoop because they just recreated one of Titanic's most iconic movie scenes, and it's all to promote their new show season. You definitely want to watch this. He's frying. Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge debuts April 3rd on VH1.
Now,
so I get what Martha Stewart's getting out of this from a branding perspective. Can someone explain to me what Snoop gets out of it?
Well, I actually thought about this because you brought this up. I think Snoop gets a whole other audience.
Yeah.
I think Snoop comes in from a very strong rap background, and Martha Stewart, no offense to anyone, is a very white, older female, and I think that is that audience, and I think Snoop is getting a whole other group of eyeballs.
I also think I'm with Bo on this one. I think she's getting a lot more than he is.
Wait, he has the munchies, so it makes sense to partner up with her.
But he's made her appear more grounded, and she needed that. Coming up on DBL, we'll meet a man who doesn't remember his family, but still has an amazing ability that inspires other people. You do not want to miss this heartwarming story right after this.
Breaking news right now. So a county in New York has just declared a state of emergency after more than 100 people were diagnosed with measles. So it's in Rockland County. They announced that starting at 12 a.m. tomorrow, anyone under 18 who has not yet been vaccinated will be barred from public places until they receive the vaccine or until the emergency declaration expires in 30 days. This is huge. This is a pretty big deal. I want Tori to hear this. Tori, a county in New York has just banned anyone who hasn't been vaccinated for the measles. They have 100 people who have been diagnosed with measles, so they are saying anyone who has not been vaccinated cannot go into public places until they are vaccinated or until this emergency declaration expires in 30 days.
And guess what you think I'm going to say about it?
You're going to say the government shouldn't control.
Nope.
No?
I'm going to say this is a fantastic idea.
I think so too.
Of course it is. Of course it is, because we're in 2019 and we should have the measles.
The measles should not be
And if you don't agree with
around.
that, great. But the problem is other children are immune suppressant, and you've got to protect the state. Much like the sugar tax.
Yep.
If it's the risk is worth the reward, I say you got to do it.
Okay,
so
I agree. What do you think,
very
DBL
happy.
Nation?
I'm very pro-vax, and I think if your child is not vaxxed, that's great. You've made that choice, then homeschool your child.
Yeah, then keep your child at home and don't let them go to the grocery store or anywhere else.
And please read up on it. If you think you've done your research and you've read 4 articles, talk to a scientist.
People who aren't researchers or scientists.
I have a really hard time with this. Children are suffering. Measles, mumps, things that have been eradicated. We can get rid of this easily. We already have. Please do your research.
Yep, breaking news. Rockland County, state of emergency.
Wow.
All right, bye, guys.
Interesting. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about one of my favorite topics, faith. Watch how a man is using the Word of God to keep him going through the fight of his life. This former pastor with Alzheimer's finds clarity in preaching. Jim Green spent his life as a pastor and missionary. In his old age, he developed Alzheimer's, which has stolen most of his memories from him.
It's pretty full-blown.
But despite his condition, he still retains his ability to preach the Word of God.
I've learned that with God, there is no getting even.
For his family, it's painful to see the man they knew slip away. But the lessons he preached and still preaches keep them going.
The faith that we learned from him is what is sustaining us now as he goes through this.
Even though his memories continue to fade, Jim's faith is still as strong as ever.
Even in the midst of the Alzheimer's and all that it does to you, he still has that deep love for God's Word and for sharing it.
Absolutely beautiful. We will be right back.
Disney is now the most powerful movie studio. The movie Us is getting rave reviews, Disney takes their Star Wars video game business to a new studio, and Google is entering into the gaming world. That's all next in The Jump Off. I'm Abby, and welcome to The Jump Off. I'm here to bring you all the latest news in gaming, tech, and nerd culture, so let's get started right now. Disney is officially the most powerful movie studio ever. It's because their $71.3 billion acquisition of Fox Entertainment is now complete. This means Disney now owns Aliens, Die Hard, Avatar, The Simpsons, Family Guy, X-Men, and more. Keep in mind, Disney already owns Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Marvel. Disney pretty much owns your whole childhood at this point. Reviews are in for Jordan Peele's new horror film, Us. The film follows a family confronted by their creepy lookalikes. At last check, it has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. The New York Times calls the movie an expansive philosophical hall of mirrors. The Seattle Times says Lupita Nyong'o's performance is, quote, wow. Make sure to check out the Double Jump team's review on YouTube. That is all I'm gonna watch because I'm way too big of a baby and I'm staying away from this one. Disney is taking its video game business elsewhere. Video game giant Electronic Arts had the Star Wars license, but all their games disappointed. Their practices were so bad, countries changed their laws. This means Lucasfilm's video game division will be taking over development of all Star Wars titles starting in 2023. Welcome back, guys. We missed you. Google is entering the video game market with their new streaming service, Stadia. Their new system allows people to play games on the go, on your TV, computer, or your phone. But can Google conquer this part of the tech industry? Only time will tell, and we'll keep our eye on this one. That's it for the Jump Off. As always, I'll be here every week with the latest in gaming, tech, and nerd culture news. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments.
Really quick, Naomi says, I still love my cable and Netflix. You can do both.
You can.
Yeah, you can. Let's think about that, guys. Both.
Yes.
And this is, Rahm Emanuel, mayor of Chicago, just spoke. He said this was a whitewash of justice, full stop, adding it sends a clear message for those who have political influence. There's a different code of justice for them.
Wow, we are live. That's just in. We'll see you tomorrow.
To talk about Neptune, so I'm gonna invite her over here. Yes.
Guys, they found something. First of all, let's do our opening to space with Kelly and Tori.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Space
with
Kelly and Tori.
That went well.
That was our first time.
The final frontier. These are the voyages of the star. Okay. They did find something very interesting on the planet Neptune, and it's called a dark storm. Now, see this really bright clouds? They are now figuring out that the brighter the cloud, the deeper the storm. So they're calling it, and get this, the Great Dark Spot. That's what they call these things. We've seen one on Jupiter for many years, millions of years. They're trying to figure out, though, how this got there so quickly. Again, Neptune is one of the farthest planets, so they can't really like hang out. It's more of a drive-by kind of situation. And so we're trying to figure out this white piece, why it attracted it so fast, and why the bright clouds mean bigger the storm. So really interesting news in space. If you're interested, if you're an amateur astrologer or astronomer or
I don't know the
space man, that's what you can use. So interesting discussion. They're also looking into Uranus and Pluto, although remember, Pluto famously no longer a planet.
I'm still upset about that. DBL Nation, let us know what you think.
My friend has a tattoo of Pluto, just like one tear.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
I know.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Let him be in there, buddy. Let them be in there. So let us know your favorite space stories. We're speaking about NASA because of spacesuits today. And
I love that story.
Interesting new, it's called the Dark Vortex on Neptune, captured for the very first time. That's been an episode of Space with
Kelly
and Tori.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Tuesday, March 26th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. And I'm here with Erica, Jeff, Al, and I am Sam. Let's get started. We have big breaking news in the Jussie Smollett case just in. All the charges have been dropped in the case against the Empire actor, and his record has been wiped clean. He was facing 16 felony counts of lying to police for allegedly staging a hate crime attack. Jussie, who is represented by attorney Mark Geragos, made an emergency court appearance this morning. Prosecutors in Chicago dropped the charges, and Jussie is forfeiting his $10,000 bond and agreeing to perform community service. Jussie spoke to reporters earlier this morning. Here's some of what he said.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
And Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson is responding. Here's what he just said to reporters.
My personal opinion is that you all know where I stand on this. Do I think justice was served? No. Where do I think justice is? I think this city is still owed an apology.
Wow, wow, wow. We have been thrown through the loop since this investigation took place, Erica. I don't know what to believe anymore. I will say if Jussie Smollett is innocent, wow, I feel heartbroken that this person had to be re-victimized. On the flip side, I'm trying to look at both sides here. If Mark Geragos, who's been known to pull magical things out of his attorney hat in the past with Michael Jackson, if this is money buying power, that's an injustice as well.
To me, if the charges were dropped, yeah, he still has community service and he forfeited the bond of $10,000. That screams that someone messed up. This has been a botched investigation. To me, it seems to me like there's something that someone doesn't want to know or want to be known, and that they had to drop all the charges as a result.
Yeah, I don't know what to think either. Obviously, Chief Johnson was not happy. Rob Emanuel is not happy, to say the least. Yeah. I mean, it's out of their hands at this point. They have nothing to do. Like Erica said, someone dropped the ball, it seems like. There's a piece of information that we're missing. They sealed the documents. They sealed the records, so we don't know what's going to happen. So something happened, whether the witnesses backed out, I'm just speculating at this point. Something big happened to make them drop all 16 counts, and to exonerate him of all 16 felony charges is like unheard of. Usually it takes up 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 months.
Well, he's not exonerated.
They wiped his. They wiped it clean.
They made it very clear in at least the statements that I saw that he's not exonerated. There's a
maybe expunged.
I think you guys are talking semantics, but you guys are basically saying the same thing.
But it is expunged.
He is free to go, but not with a "we're sorry." That's the difference. You saw the reaction from the police chief. He was not like, "Hey, we came to the conclusion, and we're happy to say that he's a productive citizen. We wish him well. We're sorry about this inconvenience."
There's animosity there.
Woo, you could feel it coming through the screen. So I'm more. I'm on everybody's side where Jessica, Erica, I think that there was definitely something amiss, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of the OJ thing, where like if you have a theory, then you start going after the way the investigation was taken.
Or there will be new information that does exonerate him. We don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. We are a live television show. We just learned this information. Some people are still finding out about it, so we will keep you up to date, and we will definitely follow all the details and let you know. Right now, we are hearing from lawyer Michael Avenatti after he was charged with trying to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Let's get to Kelly Schubert with the latest.
Sam, Michael Avenatti has been released on $300,000 bond, and we're learning if he's convicted of all charges, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But right now, Sam, Avenatti says Nike is just trying to divert attention from their own crimes. Listen.
I will never stop fighting that good fight. I am highly confident that when all of the evidence is laid bare in connection with these cases, when it is all known, when due process occurs, that I will be fully exonerated and justice will be done.
And Sam, we're learning another celebrity lawyer could be tangled up in the case. Geragos has been fired as a CNN legal contributor after multiple news outlets reported that he's the unnamed co-conspirator mentioned in the criminal complaint with Avenatti. Geragos has represented people like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Colin Kaepernick, and as you just heard, Jussie Smollett. Now, Sam, this story just keeps developing. I'll keep you updated.
Wow, thank you, Kelly. Here we go again. I mean, and this was part of a sting operation, so they have a lot on Michael Avenatti, and we're going to learn those details as they come out.
Well, I think that this is, all of these things are a part of a bigger thing, because you have to think, we're talking 20 million, 25 million. When those are the little fish, then what's the big kahuna? So I think that's happening, and also you have a bunch of people who aren't coming to the table with clean hands. So the moment that you do that and everybody's hands are dirty, you can point in any direction and you're gonna find something on someone. But whatever this big kahuna is, I'm ready to find out.
I love that you're using big kahuna. I remember that term from Back to the Beach. Do you guys remember Back to the Beach?
That's Pulp Fiction. It's a big kahuna burger.
That came from Back to the Beach.
But no one knows Back to the Beach. So
everyone knows Back to the Beach.
What year are we doing this show?
With a net? With a net? No one knows Back to the Beach?
No. Jeff, do you know Back to the Beach?
Not one person made a peep in here.
All right. Okay. Well, big news breaking for talk show host Wendy Williams. Her husband, Kevin Hunter, has reportedly had a baby with his long-rumored, longtime mistress yesterday. We have our own sources on the story who say the baby's name is Journey. Wendy recently revealed she has been living in a sober living house. And check out this photo of Wendy taken yesterday. Do you see what's not on her finger? She's not wearing her wedding ring outside her sober living facility. After more than 20 years of marriage, Wendy has not yet responded to reports about the love child, but we'll let you know the minute she does. Erica, she's been very transparent about many things on her show. I only worry whether this is a rumor, whether this is true. Regardless, the drama is not good for her recovery.
No, of course not. I don't think people are necessarily shocked by that. We had a meeting just a couple days ago, and I asked, when is he going to announce when his baby mama's due?
And why is that? So many people in her inner circle have talked about it.
Right, inner, outer. I'm not in the inner circle.
Yeah.
I mean, this doesn't come as a surprise to me. I wouldn't read too much into the ring thing, simply because that is a very, very large piece of jewelry, and it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
True.
It's not uncommon for people, for women, not to wear a ring like that all the time because of other issues. But I do think that there is some truth to this. I think there is smoke and a lot of fire. I know a lot of people are going to feel really great about it because she makes a living talking about other people. But I don't wish things like this on anyone for any reason.
No, I agree, especially when they're down. I don't want to see anybody kicking her while she's down.
Yeah, it's you know, and Sam, I kind of have a question for you. I know you've dealt with people in recovery. Do you think that some of these, and obviously we speculate on the show, do you think the coming of her, of possibly this child out of wedlock, is what kind of pushed her maybe over the edge?
Yikes.
I hate to put you on the spot like that, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, you know, if you don't have all your tools in place when you are, I think a lot of people get confused when they hear sobriety. They think that it's almost like this magic button. You go to rehab and you're better. When in actuality, it takes on average 6 times to go to a rehab facility to finally become sober. And that's a very alarming statistic. That's an alarming statistic. So yeah, sometimes if you don't have your tools in place and you hear something like that, when it's been swirling around for a very long time, that could push someone over the edge. But if you got your tools in place, you hope that those things won't affect your sobriety. Sad. It's hard. I mean, Wendy, I know she considers her fans her family. We are all rooting for you, and you will be just fine. DBL is live. We will bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, we dare you not to say "aw" when you see this sweet, sweet video that this actress just shared. But up next, everyone has favorite smells. But did you know that certain aromas could affect how you feel? Our own Stephanie Jones gets the 411 on essential oils. And you, the viewer, are our 5th host. Pediatricians are pushing for a soda tax to discourage sugary drinks for kids. So DBL Nation, are you for a soda tax, or should the government stay out of it? We're going to share your comments about that next.
Hi, DBL Nation. Kelly Schubert with the DBL Digital team. If you're just joining us, I am super excited about that essential oil story we're doing. I have been told to use essential oils for years now, and I just started using them about 2 months ago. Changed my life. Let's go to the desk and see what's going on. Hey guys, let's talk about Jussie Smollett a little more. We're all kind of shook up about this.
We're all just don't know what to believe because from the beginning, you know, people rallied around Jussie Smollett, rightfully so. Then you hear details that it was a hoax. Then people were like, well, how could he do this, especially to the LGBT community who have been victims of hate crimes? Let's not somehow dilute how many times they are prevalent. And now we're learning it could be one or two things. It could be the fact, what Erica pointed out, that it could be some sort of error, clerical error, some sort of error where you better believe it, a Mark Geragos is going to jump on that and make sure he can have the case acquitted like he's done with other of his celebrity clients. Or it could be there's new information we don't know about. This broke just now. We are live.
I think just by virtue of the fact that it was expedited in this way, because you see how fast they, not even like a rush to judgment. The superintendent came out and said, this is what happened and this is why it happened, and how disgusted and upset he was about that. He was judge and jury. And that happened within what, like a week?
What did you think about that?
I kept saying, well, that was my issue with it, that he never got a chance. Like, that's not justice. You never hear a superintendent come forward. And I understand it was very personal to him, and it was about the city and all of that.
He was afraid of like tourism, right?
To me, from the beginning, that seemed like completely
My mom said the same thing. That's interesting. My mom was like, how is the superintendent already being the judge?
Like it was jury tampering a little bit in terms of him not being able to get a fair.
I think that they really rushed to try to get this closed, and somebody did something that wasn't
guilty, right?
supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam, I was just wanting to explain about the exoneration.
Yes, not a problem. Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. And today, that's a soda tax. Pediatricians are now calling for a tax on sugary drinks because they are so bad for kids, causing problems like diabetes, obesity, and tooth decay. And kids do drink a lot of sugar. Yes, 30 gallons a year of sugary drinks. That's a full bathtub. But the companies that make the drinks say a tax would cause huge layoffs and that the government shouldn't be involved in regulating what people drink. So DBL Nation, what do you think? Do you support a soda tax or should the government stay out of it? Let's get right to your comments.
All right, Sam. Michael on Facebook says, another unfair tax. Why not just ban sugary drinks altogether? The problem is with the parents, but they punish everyone or punish no one. Michael, I'm going to agree and disagree with you. Somebody that started their career as a broke you-know-what comedian, trust me, cheap food is usually bad for you. A bag of Doritos is 99 cents. Go try and buy some organic grapes and see how expensive they are. What happens is that people that in different socioeconomic situations end up going for those cheaper foods. They usually have a ton of sugar in them. So if there's a tax, maybe it'll be more economical for them to buy healthier stuff.
Matthew says taxing is the most boring and least creative way to change a society. Not to mention costly. I completely agree with Al. When we're deciding,
as you should,
as I should. When people are deciding, or the government's deciding what should be taxed and what shouldn't be taxed, we really need to take into consideration what's available and to whom. So if you're starting to tax things because they are more accessible and a little bit more cheaper for people, then I think that you're really missing the point and the problem. And I really don't like to just pick out little things here and there and decide what we're going to tax and what we're not.
All right, JJ on Facebook says dynamite. No, I'm just joking. JJ on Facebook said, how about...
I was like, you did? I was trying to read that really quickly.
Sorry, he didn't say that at all. How about subsidizing fresh fruits and vegetables? Some people choose the sugar because they can't afford the good stuff. I think you guys were just talking about this. If you can't afford the good stuff and then you tax it, that means it's going to be more money so that you can't afford that stuff anyway. So keep the government out of it. I hate taxes already. I'm sure everyone else does, but you need to get in the juice industry now. You need to take money for my juice.
I think we just need more more education. Steven says, stop trying to do the parent's job, leave it alone. And that's when it comes down to education. You know, unfortunately, you look at marketing, you see these juice boxes that say organic or healthy or this or that, and you look at the ingredients, and the first, second, or third ingredients is sugar. So just because something says sugar-free, just because it's organic, just because it's whatever it may be, look at the ingredients and learn some of the code words for sugar, like brown rice syrup, still sugar, agave, still sugar. So things like that, because it does affect your children. And I think at the end of the day, the more education is going to help
Sam,
save
you've
it.
been on looking at labels forever, and I remember you gave me some hand lotion. You were like, look at the back. You showed me the label of that and compared it to the lotion on Jeff's table. I was like, wow.
That's true.
Why'd you shame my lotion?
I went to go use your lotion. She kind of came at your lotion a little bit, Jeff. I'm just saying, there was some lotion shaming. And
that's because I tried to touch her lotion. He told me to clean the top because I was sick, so I had to bring in my own lotion.
Okay.
So, Sam, how would you, for somebody like me that I'm just not used to turning something around, like, would you just say, like, once a day, just go look at something that you normally eat and then maybe build from there?
And you know who's a big proponent
never
of
think
this
to do that.
is Samantha Harris, a guest from our show. You guys know her from Dancing with the Stars, Entertainment Tonight. After she had cancer, she started looking at the labels of everything in her house, from the cleaning care, from what she was putting in her body and what she was putting on her body. And she learned that there is a lot of chemicals in everything we do, eat, use in our home, and she did a whole cleansing. And what sucks about that is, yes, it's a lot more expensive. So we got to make sure that we can have it be an even playing field for everybody, because nobody deserves to get sick because they can't afford the good stuff, so to speak.
All right.
So
Sam 2020. Come on, you're wasting your time here.
My lotion's just fine. But
all right, well, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are back together. Raquel Villanueva has news at the moment.
That's right, Sam. Our hearts will go on for Martha and Snoop. They just recreated one of Titanic's most iconic movie scenes, and it's all to promote their new show season. You got to watch this. He's fried. Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge debuts April 3rd on VH1.
Can we get a one shot on Erica, please? Quickly. Erica? Why?
What was that?
Tell us what you're thinking.
Okay, it was great because it seemed so organic. Their relationship, their conversation. Now it seems like we're trying so hard.
I agree with that.
It's uncomfortable.
I don't find...
I think that they have a genuine connection.
I don't find her sincere at all. I think she knows that she needs to come off grounded, and she knows that Snoop Dogg is beloved by almost everybody under the sun, and I just don't trust her.
I can see it.
I don't trust her. I don't. We will be right back.
Hey DBL Nation, welcome to The Breaks, where we bring you all the latest trending stories around the web. As I try to clip this on my belt, it never seems to work out. But anyway, this one's trending on BuzzFeedNews.com, everybody. Wow, this is a big one. A man scammed both Facebook and Google out of millions of dollars, and he did it between the years of 2013 and 2015. The man was sending false invoices. So he was sending invoices straight to both Facebook and Google for products that he never delivered. So these products didn't necessarily say exactly which ones, but he was just billing them and they were giving him the money. I mean, it blows me away that neither Facebook or Google, two mega billion-dollar companies, didn't actually do their research and think, wait, did we actually order that? Until receipts started catching up and they saw that this man was continuing to steal money from them with false invoices. DBL Nation, write us in and let us know. Do you know of any stories that are similar to this? And does it seem kind of wacko to you that Google and Facebook didn't check their checks and balances? A little bit funny there. But DBL Nation, write us in and we'll see you next break.
Welcome back to DBL. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Well, I despise early morning alarms, and that got me thinking, surely there's got to be a better way that gets me out of bed. Now, I recently caught up with lifestyle vlogger Reba Savetkov to learn how essential oils can help me get up and even help me manage my other daily funks. Check it out. Reba, thank you so much for coming to my house.
Thank you for having me.
I needed you to come over because I feel as though I've been having just really low energy, and there's different points in the day where things just don't seem right, so I need a bit of natural help.
I can help you with essential oils. There's hundreds of essential oils, and they can help from anything from depression and anxiety to nausea and sleeping. Anything that's going on with you, usually there's an essential oil that would help. So what areas can I help you with?
Okay, there's a few. So the first thing is when I wake up in the morning, I'm really sluggish. I find it hard to wake up and just basically get out of bed.
I have one that can help. Peppermint is like gonna wake you up. You can leave the peppermint by your bedside, and all you're gonna do is put a little bit on your palms. It activates the hippocampus in your brain, and it just starts to stimulate everything.
Really?
Yeah, it gets you going. So what next?
Right, so after I've got out of bed, I go to work, and I just need something to help me stay focused.
A great one to help you with focus is rosemary. You can go and buy a roller stick. You're gonna fill it with a carrier oil, and then you're gonna put 5 to 10 drops of rosemary in here. Shake it up, and you can roll it on any of these points on your wrist, on your neck, and it's gonna help you with some memory and focus.
I'm finding that throughout the day, I'm always hungry. So what can you recommend to suppress my appetite a little bit?
Well, one of the great ones is bergamot.
Okay.
It can help in those stressful situations to suppress your appetite and also reduces stress at the same time. So what you would do is fill up one of these bottles with water and about 20 to 30 drops of bergamot, and you can just spritz it all over. So you can spritz it all around yourself or on your face.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to give all of this a go, and it smells so good. Now, a reminder, just because something is natural, it doesn't mean that it's safe. Essential oils can cause allergic reactions, so if using topically, test on a small area of your skin to make sure that it works for you. Coming up on DBL, J-Lo and A-Rod's engagement is brand new, but is their romance already in trouble? That story's ahead, but first, our pint-sized puppy wrangler is back, and he introduces an adorable dog that's looking for a home. That's in today's Roman Rescues, coming up next.
Ooh, what a great segment by Stephanie with the essential oils. What's up, guys? Brandon London here for your DBL commercial break. Commercial break with Brandon. We are a live show. We're so live. I can show you Raquel eating her eggs and breakfast eggs with a big old strawberry, which I hope she gives to me. I hope she doesn't eat because it looks good. But like I said, we're a live show, so let's get into your comments. A lot of you guys are writing in about Jussie Smollett, as I would expect, because this is breaking news here. Woo Tina from Portland says lawsuit on the police department. I wonder, with all the information that's going on right now, is there going to be a lawsuit, especially with him forfeiting his bond? They saying he's already served his community service or whatever. So I think there's a lot that's going to be unveiled on this. Carrie Manners Patty from Knoxville says, money buying power? Yep. How much money did this guy really have, though? Because remember, he allegedly staged this hoax off of only getting $65K per episode, and his lawyer, Mark Geragos, I said that right? Mark Geragos. Seems like it costs a lot of money. Cynthia Adams from Knoxville says, and Chicago wonders why they have a crime problem that they do. What a bunch of worthless leaders. A lot of you are upset. XOOX says, I agree with Erica. It botched, but I'm sure if Jussie set himself up or if someone set him up. Leanne Stapleton Holt says, Chicago at its finest. Tiffany Rayner in Knoxville, I'm glad you're free, not proven guilty, so get over it. He was only killing his career. Trump is killing America. Focus on that. Somehow we divert our way back to Trump. But hey, we love you guys are writing in. We love you guys are commenting. You guys are giving us different perspective, different things to look at. But I'm wondering if something happened within this investigation that someone messed up. Someone obtained some sort of evidence illegally, and then that brought in the ability for them to have to drop the charges or whatever. I see this only on Law & Order, which I think they're going to make this into a Law & Order episode. Ginger Withers says he shouldn't have a career anymore. He should be in jail. All charges were dropped. Why shouldn't he have a career anymore? Why should he be in jail if the charges were dropped? Liz Lodge Bell Castro says he's surrendering his bond and doing community service. It's an agreement. I agree. I'm waiting to hear what else comes out after all this. Why was he forced to to give up his bail and do some community service? Like you said, it sounds like an agreement, but like you said, this is a live show. This all was breaking. We were reporting on this as it was breaking, giving you guys what we heard and what we think about the situation. Love Beauty from YouTube says Lori Loughlin was back to the beach. She was Frankie and Annette's daughter. Don't know what that means, but awesome. Ethiopia Kanjo says 16 charges were way too much, but it's surprising they dropped all of it. Again, this is going to be a breaking case. We're going to continue talking about this. So keep tuning in, keep writing in. We love your comments. That's your commercial break with Brandon. Raquel, can I have that strawberry?
It's all yours.
We're live TV.
Welcome back to DBL. Our favorite puppy pitchman is back, and this time he has a pup with lots of energy who needs a forever home. Check out today's Roman's Rescue.
Hi everyone, this is my friend PJ here. He's 6 years old and an owner surrendered.
The owner surrendered because his family was apparently moving and he couldn't go, which is a story that the shelter hears all too often, huh?
Yeah.
He's so friendly. He gets along with other dogs.
And he's
just super happy.
And he's got quite a bit of energy.
He does.
And he knows sit and shake, so he's a very smart dog. As you can see, PJ's at the Augusta Animal Services. Please adopt him.
Aww. Oh, you see all the energy he had too? Like, I love a dog with all that energy. It keeps you young.
Yeah.
Roman.
Yeah, he's a man.
If you're leaving us right now, you can still watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here's what's coming up next.
Sexting strike against A-Rod. We'll tell you who's accusing him of sending naughty texts just days before popping the question to J-Lo. Then, Justin Bieber says he needs a break to repair deep-rooted issues. Will the superstar be able to find himself before he becomes a dad? And in mother news, it's baby fever. The celebrity moms who are welcoming new additions to their families when DBL comes back.
Disney is now the most powerful movie studio. The movie Us is getting rave reviews, Disney takes their Star Wars video game business to a new studio, and Google is entering into the gaming world. That's all next in The Jump Off. I'm Abby, and welcome to The Jump Off. I'm here to bring you all the latest news in gaming, tech, and nerd culture, so let's get started right now. Disney is officially the most powerful movie studio ever. It's because their $71.3 billion acquisition of Fox Entertainment is now complete. This means Disney now owns Aliens, Die Hard, Avatar, The Simpsons, Family Guy, X-Men, and more. Keep in mind, Disney already owns Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Marvel. Disney pretty much owns your whole childhood at this point. Reviews are in for Jordan Peele's new horror film, Us. The film follows a family confronted by their creepy lookalikes. At last check, it has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. The New York Times calls the movie an expansive philosophical hall of mirrors. The Seattle Times says Lupita Nyong'o's performance is, quote, wow. Make sure to check out the Double Jump Team's review on YouTube. That is all I'm gonna watch because I'm way too big of a baby and I'm staying away from this one. Disney is taking its video game business elsewhere. Video game giant Electronic Arts had the Star Wars license, but all their games disappointed. Their practices were so bad, countries changed their laws. This means Lucasfilm's video game division will be taking over development of all Star Wars titles starting in 2023. Welcome back, guys. We missed you. Google is entering the video game market with their new streaming service, Stadia. Their new system allows people to play games on the go, on your TV, computer, or your phone. But can Google conquer this part of the tech industry? Only time will tell, and we'll keep our eye on this one. That's it for the Jump Off. As always, I'll be here every week with the latest in gaming, tech, and nerd culture news. We'll see you next time.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. We are live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. So let's get started. Is there trouble in paradise? More rumors are swirling right now that A-Rod may have been unfaithful to his fiancée J-Lo. Former Playboy playmate Zoe Gregory claims A-Rod begged her for a threesome and sexted her. She tells The Sun this happened just weeks before the couple got engaged. But this isn't the first accusation like this for A-Rod. Right after he proposed, former baseball star Jose Canseco accused A-Rod of cheating with his ex-wife, Jessica. However, she says it is not true. So this is all rumor. But I think it does bring up the fact, you know, this is a very public couple, Erica. How do they stay private? I know that A-Rod and J-Lo have not tried to stay private. Do you think that opens them up to more scrutiny? Do you think she's turning a blind eye? What would you say?
I don't think they have a choice to be private.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people try to do it, but they're not that type of couple. They haven't had that type of persona. I think that we have to stop applying pedestrian logic to extraordinary relationships and circumstances, because what we have in our arsenal of what's prioritized and what isn't probably isn't in theirs, because their life doesn't reflect anything that we're used to. So I try not to put people in the same box that I would put normal people in, because there's nothing normal about that.
Yeah, and you know, how do you deal with rumors just in an everyday relationship? I know that you and Jordan aren't an everyday relationship because you both have a lot of publicity from Big Brother. But have you ever had like certain fans reach out and accuse one or the other? How have you dealt with that?
There's always people that want to hate,
so
even on our relationship. You just ignore it and let it go away. I think, like Erica was saying, at that status, at that level, you can't just ignore it. But what you can do is not go to every single event. You could do that if you wanted to do that, but then you risk of slipping out of the public eye a little bit and losing some of that fame. So if they want to show up to every one of those events and be center stage and be the star, expect some of the scrutiny comes with it.
I don't know if it's just going to every event. I think it's how you present yourself. I think a lot of what happened when we saw Tiger Woods' downfall was he presented himself as this family man. I drive Buicks, I sell razors, and I play golf, and that's all I do. And then so then Perkins waitresses start coming out of nowhere, and nightclub hostesses, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, wait, what? I bought this because you presented yourself as this kind of person. And so I think when you present yourself as the it couple, the hashtag couples goals couple, sorry, the way human beings are wired, a lot of people don't like that because it looks like you're throwing it in people's faces when you show a spread of your Thanksgiving table and it's as long as a football field with 15 turkeys on it.
I hear you.
It's like, all right.
I hear you.
But do we think that A-Rod is...
She apparently has text messages. This woman apparently has explicit text messages. She says that proves what she's saying is true.
Well, and if you remember, the last time he got caught up in an affair situation, the woman looked exactly like this woman. So I'm not shocked by this. Yeah. Maybe J-Lo isn't
either. That woman looks like she was made in a lab to take men's money. Doesn't she? Like, if you created like just like super
Instagram.
Yes, like just it's like
that was a nice way to put it. I was trying to
girl.
Get
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I went to the well, Jeff, and every word in there is like, can't say that.
Yeah. I figured.
All right. Well, actress Mandy Moore is getting her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. A lot of big names came out for the celebration, including her fellow cast members on This Is Us, and her former co-star Shane West from A Walk to Remember was there too. Look at this cute pic she posted and listen to what Mandy had to say about receiving a star.
Recently, I have found myself stepping into my power in a new way. I have. I'm finally starting to understand and own who I am. I've discovered a sense of authenticity and confidence in what's next. And I feel really lucky.
Now with the class of 2019, please stand up. That boring valedictorian speech.
Al, you are so angst, and I have to question why. You're very angst because, one, I really appreciate what she's saying because I think that a lot of women and young girls look up to Mandy Moore. And what they don't understand is there is freedom in being fully who you are. And she has lived that life in the open since she was like 13 years old. So for someone like that to come up and say, this is my star, I am fully who I am, and I'm not going to be apologetic for that, people try their whole lives to get to that point. So I'm really feeling some type of way about that, and I appreciate her saying that.
I just want to hear Al's response.
Okay.
That's it. Does this face look like I know who Mandy Moore is?
Well, can we?
It's not for you, but to discredit, discount what she's saying.
Eric, I didn't discredit what she said. I said it was boring.
Okay, but especially
that's an opinion.
Especially, remember we just covered the story how she said it took her years to recover from her relationship with her ex. According to her, was verbally abusive, controlling. She gave up music. Now she's coming out with new music. This is a new chapter for her. I find it very aspiring. I'm with Erica.
All right. I just gotta say, watch A Walk to Remember, dude. You'll cry.
Oh my God. Oh.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
I will watch it.
Watch it.
This weekend.
Good. She's a good actress.
I remember I was in LA and I was watching by myself. I'm like, what's this Walk to Remember? Because I always had like a little crush on Mandy Moore.
And I had a crush on Shane West.
And I watched it and I was crying by myself in my lonely apartment in LA. And I was like, oh my God, that movie's beautiful.
It is. It is.
I was running up against Mandy Moore's PR team today.
And This Is Us is on tonight, just so everyone knows. Looks heart-wrenching.
Well, we do have new details on singer Justin Bieber. He is continuing to speak out about his battle with depression. He has talked about it many times before, now posted this photo on Instagram with a lengthy caption. It says in part, quote, "I was unhappy last tour and I don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. I am now very focused on repairing some of the deep-rooted issues that I have so that I don't fall apart, so that I can sustain my marriage and be the father I want to be." The fact that he has to continue to speak out, and believe me, I applauded him for doing it before, but now it's almost to the point where I'm like, oh my God, he has to. Because otherwise, when he cancels the tour, when he doesn't come out with new music, if he doesn't show his face at a certain award show, his fans are on him. The pressure that this young man has to face on a daily basis, I can't even imagine. Yes, he's famous. Yes, he has money, but I would not want to walk a mile in his shoes, let me tell you.
I mean, human beings only have so much bandwidth.
Right.
And I mean, just think about just the number of people he's met, where he's been, the number of flights he's been on, the things that are said to him, the things that are asked of him, the money that he's made, the decisions he's had to make before 25. I didn't know what was going on until I was like 27 years old. I didn't know what direction I was headed. So the fact that this has all been on him, I think that he's having a midlife crisis at 25 years old.
Oh, yeah.
The thing about it is, because people are constantly saying like, oh, well, it must be so hard to be Justin Bieber. And I think for those people, it's clear that maybe they haven't found what their true calling in life is, because this is a guy who has been so immensely talented and blessed that that's all he can really do in order to fulfill his purpose. So when you feel like that is your purpose is your burden, at 25 years old, you don't even have the tools to deal with something like that.
I know.
I just wonder if people in his team, if he's got anybody that can support him, take him off social media for a little while.
I mean, but again, I mean, the whole world rests on his shoulders. He's one of the biggest stars out there. Yeah, prayers for him. Yeah. And hopefully all the support he needs. Birth control for men might come sooner than you think. Now we have more information on a pill for men. Results from a study were presented yesterday that found men who took the drug had, quote, no serious adverse effects. However, there were some issues like fatigue, headache, acne, decreased libido, and mild erectile dysfunction.
Those are problems.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want me to read the side effects that female birth control has? Yeah.
Wow, Al,
I probably would have a scroll.
Today, buddy.
I would probably have a scroll. And this new drug has only been tested for safety, not effectiveness. Researchers estimate it could hit the market in 10 years. I think this is wonderful. The fact that this has been a burden on women and women only, and we're the ones that have to be the brunt of all these side effects, I'm really happy. I just hope that you guys remember to take the damn pill. I hope you remember to take the damn pill.
Listen, in 10 years, I'll be out of the game, so don't worry about it. But I mean, if you get a pill that's kind of like a male birth control, and you have no libido, and you have...
That's not true. It's
that's
just
what
a side effect.
You have a problem with an erectile dysfunction.
No. It's just a side effect. These are tested.
I'm just saying, that's a pretty good pill.
Oh.
If you can't perform, you can't perform.
Exactly.
Okay. Do we all...
Am I right or what?
If you don't bring your shoes, you can't play.
Do we all agree that the goal should be that the woman and the male both share the burden? Or should it always be on the woman? Should it always be on the woman, Erica?
I don't think it should be on the woman, but I'm not trusting any man with birth control.
I know,
Period.
and that's not fair. And that's,
period.
But it's true. It's not fair, though.
What do you
Got
know?
it. Would 22-year-old Jeff remember to pop a pill at the same? You know, you have to do it at the same time every day, too, right?
Listen, don't take your aggression out on me.
Jeff, it's a lot of hands today. It's a lot.
There is a lot of this going on.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
a lot of
saying,
hands.
would 22-year-old Jeff remember to take his pill at the same time every day?
No.
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 That's not okay.
Have you met a 22-year-old dude?
Yes.
There's no way.
That's
they
not
get
okay.
pants on, that's a big deal.
When
There's
41-year-old Al remember to take a pill at the same time?
Yes, because I had 3 kids. So, like, yeah, now I have 3 reminders to take my pill. Yes. Yeah, but when you're 22 and you're, no. It's,
all right. Okay, Game of Thrones fans will want to grab the latest issue of Rolling Stone magazine. Stephanie Jones has the story, and it's coming in hot.
That's right. Game of Thrones fans are buzzing about the April issue of Rolling Stone. That's because 2 major stars from the HBO series are on the cover. Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner, who play the Stark sisters on the hit series, open up about their time on the show and their real-life friendship. The article describes how they became fast friends while reading their first script back in 2009, and they've been inseparable ever since. Sophie Turner also talks about season 8, telling the magazine she is very satisfied with how the show ends. The final season premieres on April the 14th. I can't wait. Are the Starks going to take the Iron Throne?
Ooh, Steph. Y'all are excited. Poor Eric and I are still in the dark.
Oh, you would love Arya Stark. I'm telling you right now.
She the blonde one with the dragons?
No, she's not. She was the girl that we just...
the dragons.
The smaller one that we just did the story on.
Jeff, why are you still talking? She doesn't know what you're talking about.
Because she's all about women empowerment. She is like the epitome of women empowerment. She's
awesome.
A boss on that show.
Okay, that's great. I've never seen the show.
Well, you were yelling at me for no reason earlier. I thought I'd give it back.
Yell at you? All right. Coming up on DBL, a Grammy-winning singer makes a big announcement on social media, but it's not about her music. Also, the sweetest video you'll see today, which actress shares the very first hug with her new baby daughter. You don't want to miss it. Next.
I completely agree with Sam. I don't think a lot of 22-year-old guys will use male birth control.
I don't think a lot of 38-year guys, Listen, I love my husband. I love you to pieces, Mark, but he does not take his multi-daily vitamin every day.
Right.
I feel like that there's something wired in the woman's brain where we're just a little bit more
I think there's something biologically in that, like, you guys are responsible for the next generation of humans. There has got to be something from 10,000 years ago that you know that it's gonna be on you. Whether that was hardwired from generations of women that are like, listen, your great granddad, he's not you. So like maybe that is just something that's innate.
I think isn't there something to do with the fact, and this is gonna come off terribly wrong, but the fact that women bodies change and they go through all this and they grow and they gain weight and they have all these emotions. If men did that, no, seriously, if men had to go through that, they'd probably be like, you know what? I don't want to go through all that. I might take this pill. It's going back to what you said. I'm being serious. You know what I mean? We have no side effects from it. You guys do. So it's like.
Baby.
I know, but I'm trying to like.
No, but there's
a pregnancy.
I'm trying to.
You know what I mean?
What Jeff's saying in terms of
men don't think that.
There's a maturation in that women go through when they go through puberty. Your body is now ready to give birth, and that happens at 13.
Yeah.
So your mind is already rewiring itself. Like, I mean, you forget we live to be 90 now, but 80, 90 years ago, 100 years ago, people were
40.
And
getting married at 14 and having babies at 13.
Yeah, so that wasn't that crazy to have 2 kids at 17. So, you know, your body and the way you're already thinking, like, what do I do to give my kids the best chance? So you're already maturing where guys are just goofy, you know, throwing the football around in the pool.
We came off like such idiots.
You know what's funny is when I went to the zoo, there's a gorilla family there, and the daddy gorilla was sleeping while the mama gorilla was gathering food, nursing her young, and like making some sort of like bed thing for the baby.
He was probably working all day.
While the daddy was sleeping.
Welcome back to DBL. Social media is popping, and some really amazing moms are talking about their births. So we're breaking it all down in mother news. Yes, actress Hilary Duff is loving motherhood for the second time around, sharing this adorably sweet birth video 5 months after welcoming her daughter Banks into the world. The baby girl reached for a hug in the first moments of her life. Watch.
She's here, guys. You did it. I know.
Oh, big hug, Mama. Oh my gosh. Whew. In the caption, Hilary says it was as though Banks was saying, "Good job, Mom." Hilary had a home birth with her boyfriend Matt by her side, and her son Luca from a previous marriage was playing with Legos downstairs through it all. Wow, what a beautiful moment. Wow, wow, wow.
Hats off for having that baby at home like that.
I know. Oof. I know. And they say water births really do decrease the pain because you can be weightless and you can kind of let go as opposed to tighten up. So people that I know that have gone medication free, that have done water births, they say it is, it wasn't as painful as you would imagine.
Erica, you're making the best face right now. What were you thinking when you watched
I didn't even know Newports could do that.
I didn't either.
I was like, that was beautiful.
Until I saw the clip, I thought maybe we're reaching with the reach. That baby reached for her and like then brought her in.
You know, babies can actually like the reason why, not to get too, I mean it's biology. The reason why like you have that dark line, like women when they're pregnant, they get a dark line right here, and then your I don't know if I can say the word. It's, you know what, I'm going to say it. It's biology. Your nipples darken. Is so when you have the baby, especially if the baby is preemie and you know their vision is blurred, they can actually crawl up to get their first meal. It's unbelievable,
it's like
biology.
GPS.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, when they told us the very same thing.
Amazing.
It's so many things like that just blow your mind. You can't believe what a miracle it really is.
What a miracle it really is. Well, you ought to know that singer Alanis Morissette is pregnant again. She posted this to Instagram announcing her third pregnancy at the age of 44. Alanis has 2 kids with her husbands, ages 2 and 8. And Erica, it looked like she was singing into a microphone, so maybe she's making some new music?
Hopefully.
I know, I love her.
Jagged Little Pill changed my whole life.
I know. Every song on that album. And I love seeing her, you know, at 44 years old, like still wanting to have a third child. That's great.
Yeah, I'm a fan. She's good.
She is good.
I like her voice.
I know, me too.
In the middle of there.
It was a slap in your face.
Why did she sing some words like that?
Because that's her style.
There.
And get this, 9 nurses at a hospital in Maine are all pregnant. Here are the moms and moms-to-be, and even crazier is the nurses all work in the labor and delivery unit. As you can imagine, it was pretty unreal when they found out. Watch.
I feel like every other day we would come into work and there would be like, someone else is pregnant, and then we'd start writing a list. The greatest floor for like pregnancy resources, because everywhere we look there's someone that's an expert.
Wow, the babies are due back to back starting in April all the way up to July. That's incredible. There's got to be something in the water there.
There's 9 men who forgot to take their male pregnancy pills.
Pregnancy pill.
What do you call them?
Birth control. Wow. Exactly my point.
Alrighty.
Exactly. Well, let me remember to take my pregnancy pill.
There's just 9 out of 9 men who couldn't do that.
And coming up,
we're in a doghouse over here.
You see, I just stopped talking. I'm smart.
Probably a good idea. Coming up, a fascinating story about a former pastor with Alzheimer's. Find out why his family is absolutely sure his faith is still strong. That's next on DBL.
DBL Nation, it's Lex and I'm here with the DBL Digital team giving you guys more top trending stories during the breaks here at Daily Blast Live. So I have a really fun and interesting story to share with you guys, and our own Sam Shocker, she's on the panel, she's a host here, you know and love her, is going to join me to talk about this story. So trending right now is Harry and Meghan, the Duchess and
The Duchess and Duke?
Sure,
okay,
we never say.
He's a prince. Prince
Harry.
Yes.
So they're due any day now, and Meghan is preparing for the new baby. They've decided not to find out the gender of the baby.
Okay.
Apparently, sources say he's going to be growing up in a gender-neutral home.
Cool.
They're doing a monochrome.
Love it. Colors in the nursery.
Yeah, nursery. And Meghan is saying that she's going to make her own baby food and use natural cleaning products.
Good for her. You know, this is something that I learned while I was pregnant. It's so funny when you're pregnant, like everything's heightened. I remember walking into a nail salon and then turning right around. I think there's a reason why our sense of smell is heightened, because it alerts you of chemicals. So then I started researching like what could harm my child that's in me, and cleaning products was number one. Ooh. So there's many things you can do. So number one, vinegar cleans everything 99.9% effectively. If you have vinegar in your home, it's cheap. Add some lavender oil, add some eucalyptus oil. There's a cleaning product. Luckily, there are many companies like Myers, like 7th Generation, that already make those cleaning products for you. So you can do that. And making baby food, if you have a baby Brezza, invest in a baby Brezza. They're like $150. I know it sounds expensive, but you can make all your baby food from there. Not only does it steam it, but it blends it. So it's gonna steam it, blend it, all in one push of the button.
Wow, DBL Nation, write us in and let us know what you think of the story. Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about one of my favorite topics, faith. Watch how a man is using the Word of God to keep him going through the fight of his life. This former pastor with Alzheimer's finds clarity in preaching. Jim Green spent his life as a pastor and missionary. In his old age, he developed Alzheimer's, which has stolen most of his memories from him.
It's pretty full-blown.
But despite his condition, he still retains his ability to preach the Word of God.
I've learned that with God, there is no getting even.
For his family, it's painful to see the man they knew slip away. But the lessons he preached, and still preaches, keep them going.
The faith that we learned from him is what is sustaining us now as he goes through this.
Even though his memories continue to fade, Jim's faith is still as strong as ever.
Even in the midst of the Alzheimer's and all that it does to you, he still has that deep love for God's Word and for sharing it.
Absolutely beautiful. We will be right back.
All right, DBL Nation, what's going on? It's your second commercial break with Brandon. We're going to get to these fifth host questions that you all are writing in on, talking about the sugary drinks. Should there be a tax on them? Before we get into it, I feel as though maybe, especially because it's causing more harm to the kids than good. I mean, just think about if you have to babysit, like when I have to babysit my nieces and nephews, I give them sugar. Bless you. That's how I feel. I just want to sneeze and run out the house and tell my sister-in-law to get back to her kids because they're all over the place. Yeah, so Rosetta Williams from Facebook says there's a tax on candy and it hasn't slowed anyone down from eating it. This is another way for the states to collect funds. A lot of people are saying that. They think that it's an unfair, unjust tax. They're saying that people, we've taxed cigarettes, people are still smoking cigarettes, but it's also detoured a lot of people from buying cigarettes, especially when they're like 20, 30 bucks for a pack of cigarettes. That's absolutely crazy. I don't smoke cigarettes. Jacob Henry says, oh, heck no, there ain't no two ways about it. There should not be a soda tax. Why don't they put an alcohol tax, tobacco tax, or a cigarette tax? The government's just wanting a tax on everything. There already is an alcohol tax, a cigarette tax, a tobacco tax. You can see that's been bumped up. I don't remember how long ago it was, but that's already been put into place. Brandy Sprung, government needs to stay out. How about pay for classes and offer cheaper health food? I kind of agree. Why is it that if you want to go eat something organic, it costs $1 bajillion? I have a organic grocery store that's by my house, and it's walking distance. I can literally walk out the house, get right to it. I also have a Trader Joe's, but it's a little bit further down. When I go into the organic grocery store, I only go in and grab a certain amount of things because it's like $4 for a bell pepper. And I love bell peppers. It's absolutely ridiculous. I agree with you, Brandy. We need to make healthier food more cheaper, more affordable. Jason T. Dameron says, look at all the people against taxing things that cause diabetes. Do you people know how expensive it is to treat diabetes and related illnesses? How many of you are or were for taxing cigarettes and alcohol to get people to quit? I say tax it all, alcohol, tobacco, and sugar. I kind of agree because we have a history of diabetes in my family. So if it's something that you're looking at, that Capri Sun or that Sunny Delight, I don't even know if they make those anymore. Oh, they do? Yeah. For my nieces and nephews, I'm not gonna wanna buy that if the prices are higher on that. If you raise that price, and it's the same price as an organic juice, I'm going to get the organic juice for my nieces and nephews because I care about their well-beings. Aaron Tennant says, I only live once. Quit taxing all this. LOL. Nikki Starbucks Chanel says, I love this. Consumption-based taxes on non-essential goods are much more palatable in my opinion. So you guys feel it. You want that? Some of you want the taxes to stay out. Some of you want it to come in. I think we all just want to live healthy lives. Thank you all for watching. Keep watching. Actually, the show's almost over. Raquel, here's your seat.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Bye.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, Erica?
Well, we have comments, Sam. I'm having some issues with the Wi-Fi.
I do want to address one while you look for that.
Okay.
What was his name?
Oh,
we have to call him out.
Phil Cohen.
Phil Cohen, a longtime fan of DBL. You went to Portillo's and you didn't like it?
You're canceled, Phil.
Oh, that's a Chicago staple.
Yeah, we should throw behind what exactly happened. Phil went to Chicago. He asked Jeff and I on Friday where he should go. We said Portillo's. He said he didn't think it was that great. And now you're canceled, Phil.
Oh, no. Phil, I still love it.
It's okay, Phil. Everybody has a right to their
opinion. We're joking around, Phil. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. A lot of comments on birth control. XOOX says, yes, I want men to have birth control. It's about time. They should have shots, too. Naomi says shots would be great. Naomi says male birth control. It's about time they take it. I had to stop taking the pill years ago. Not worth the side effects I had. Crazy homebody girl. Maybe they'll stop trying to get rid of women birth control now that guys have it, too. Ooh.
Do we have any positive comments about men?
It's positive. It's
about men. About men.
Oh wait, positive though.
How is that positive? We're getting ripped apart.
No. It's they're just saying that that they believe that you should share the burden. That's positive. It takes two to tango.
Yeah, but it's impossible for us to do that.
Why?
We can't have the baby for you.
No, but you can at least take the pill.
Not for 10 years. Are we going to yell about this for 10 years now?
No one's yelling but you, honey. That's the funny thing. Yeah. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye-bye.
So I've got a really sad story I've been tracking. We're not talking about it on the show because it's kind of depressing. There's a show dog named Gail that's missing in Atlanta. Gail is a purebred American Staffordshire Terrier. Now, this dog is a show dog, and he was in the United States. He's actually from Amsterdam, but he was in the United States with his owners being shown. So he was at the Atlanta airport, and ABC News says he was being loaded up into his crate. Everything was fine, and then all of a sudden, they realized the crate was empty. It's really sad. I don't really know what I would do if I went to put my dog on a plane and then all of a sudden it was gone. So it's been 3 days now since the dog's been missing. Just a sad situation. The owners are obviously very upset. They want to know where their dog is. There are wildlife officials, all these people joining in to help find this dog. I was hoping I would look up an update and it would have been found, Gail would have been found, but still no Gail in Atlanta running around. It makes me so sad. It's a really sad story. Uh-oh, here comes Chris. I'm nervous.
Man, I love that movie, Homeward Bound. Don't y'all love
that? Oh, that is a great movie. maybe,
she was like,
okay,
cats rule, dogs drool, or something like that.
I really like where you're going with this, Chris. Gail is still alive. He will find his home, and he will return home to Amsterdam somehow.
Adventure, and then Disney's going to make a movie about it.
Yeah, and then he'll have new friends.
Yeah. And then after they make the movie about this, they're going to give him another movie to play basketball. You know, about like 5 or whatever.
TVL Nation, let us know what you think. I'll update you if Gail is found.
Sorry, everybody.
No, that was good.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It is Tuesday, March 26th. We are live, and we are talking about what you're talking about right now. I'm here with Tori, Jeff, Al, and I am Sam. Let's get started. We have big breaking news in the Jussie Smollett case. Justin, all the charges have been dropped in the case against the Empire actor, and his record has been wiped clean. He was facing 16 felony counts of lying to police for allegedly staging a hate crime attack. Jussie, who is represented by attorney Mark Geragos, made an emergency court appearance this morning. Prosecutors in Chicago dropped the charges, and Jussie is forfeiting his $10,000 bond and agreeing to perform community service. Jussie spoke to reporters earlier this morning. Here's some of what he said.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I have been accused of.
And some local officials in Chicago are not happy with the decision. Here's what Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson just said.
My personal opinion is that you all know where I stand on this. Do I think justice was served? No. Where do I think justice is? I think this city is still owed an apology.
And Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel did not hold back with his opinion on this. Watch.
This is an unbelievable, not just whitewash of justice, this is a person now who's been let off scot-free with no sense of accountability of the moral and ethical wrong of his actions.
I don't know where to begin, especially because you look at the history of this case. I mean, we have whiplash each way it turns. Yeah. Tori, so it's one or two things. There's new evidence that somehow exonerates him. I'm not saying that's happened yet. Right. Or money buys you power. Somehow he was able to get away with this, or there's some sort of clerical error. What is going on?
Right. So we know very little. What we do know is that the prosecution and the police are not speaking to one another, and it's causing confusion. We're confused. People in Chicago are confused. The mayor's confused. You shouldn't have the superintendent of your police department speaking against you. Something's going wrong. They're saying it's something fishy. It sounds like there could have been some prosecutorial issues with evidence, or someone made a call, because that you don't drop 16 counts of felony.
Someone made a call.
We don't know.
Money buys you power.
We don't know, but it's I've never seen anything like this before where they drop it like that.
I wanted to ask you, they expunged his record, because I was doing some research earlier, which they said is unheard of, at least before 6 months to a year. Also, they sealed the documents.
We'll never know. So
why would they do that?
Because if there is corruption, you don't want people to know about it. So at some point, there's going to be an investigation into the state's attorney's office. Somebody recused themselves named Kim Fox. There seems to be some kind of issue there. Trust me, an investigation will be into this. The prosecution has really messed up their PR because no one's talking to each other. And now they look bad. So everyone thinks he's getting off scot-free, and we don't know why.
Wow. All right. Well, we will definitely keep you up to date on that case. Right now, we are hearing from lawyer Michael Avenatti after he was charged with trying to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Let's get to Kelly Schuberth with the latest.
Sam, Michael Avenatti has been released on $300,000 bond, and we're learning if he's convicted of all the charges, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But right now, Sam, Avenatti says Nike is just trying to divert attention from their own crimes. Listen.
I will never stop fighting that good fight. I am highly confident that when all of the evidence is laid bare in connection with these cases, when it is all known, when due process occurs, that I will be fully exonerated and justice will be done.
And Sam, we're learning another celebrity lawyer could be tangled up in the case. Mark Geragos has been fired as a CNN legal contributor after multiple news outlets reported that he's the unnamed co-conspirator mentioned in the criminal complaint with Avenatti. Geragos has represented people like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Colin Kaepernick, and as you just heard, Jussie Smollett. Now, Sam, this story just keeps developing. I will keep you updated.
Yikes. Thank you, Kelly. And this does not look good. Tori, there was a sting operation involved. Yeah. They have a lot of evidence.
Yeah, when you're Nike and you have a phone call recording of you and Geragos saying, I'm going to take down your billion-dollar stock, I'm going to do this. It's Nike. Don't try and extort Nike. It makes zero sense to me. So far, Geragos has only been listed as a co-conspirator. He's on the phone calls, but he's not been charged with anything.
He did lose his job at CNN.
Yes, he did, and his reputation otherwise. But Avenatti is going downhill fast.
Wow. All right.
Fast. You
were right about Avenatti.
Right about Avenatti.
What is that?
You never played charades?
Oh, you mean this thing?
On the nose?
Yeah.
This thing.
Oh my God, just say it.
I'm visual as well as intelligent, Sam.
Who does that?
I'm visual as well as intelligent.
You've never played charades.
That's one for
wow.
That's one for the
On the nose.
Yep.
Cool.
I gotta make fun of everything I do. Why don't you say, hey, you know what? That was very creative,
I did.
Jeff.
Well, first of all, I said you were right about him, Jeff, and then you have to do this. That was weird.
I wanted to, highlight the moment a little bit.
Okay.
Now it's like you guys are practicing for couples counseling.
Yeah.
I need two counselors because I have two stage wives.
All right. Big news breaking for talk show host Wendy Williams. Her husband, Kevin Hunter, has reportedly had a baby with his rumored longtime mistress in the past few days. We have our own sources on the story who say the baby's name is Journey and that Wendy learned about the baby on Sunday night. Wendy recently revealed she has been living in a sober house. And check out this photo of Wendy taken yesterday. Do you see what's not on her finger? She's not wearing her wedding ring outside her sober living facility after more than 20 years of marriage. Wendy has not yet responded to reports about the love child and has continued to film her show like a boss, but we will let you know the minute she does speak out. Yikes. And I know these are just rumors, but listen, these rumors have a lot of weight to them. There's a lot of smoke here, a lot of fire. People in her inner circle have been talking about her husband for years, not only saying that he's had this alleged mistress and a baby on the way, but also that he is very controlling.
Yeah, not a good combo for someone vulnerable in an addiction and sick. I mean, when you're in sober house, as many of you all know, you need to be crystal clear about your focus. And any rumor, even if it's just a rumor and this is false, is not good for Wendy Williams. So from what I've seen and learned from family members is you cut off those things that distract you from your goal, and your goal is sobriety.
I just go back to the fact, and I know I can't speak for Wendy Williams or tell her what to do with her recovery, but for me, the more I look at this story, the more that things are coming out. If my wife is mad at me for something stupid that I've done the previous night or that morning, and I come to work, it affects me. It affects me. It affects my mood, how I am on camera.
Same.
And I have to get through that. So I try to resolve the problem as fast as I can because I'm saying it's affecting my job. For Wendy, with all this out there, it takes a strong, strong woman or man to get through your daily routine with all this out there. So I commend her with that, but I don't know if it's the best idea.
Is it wise? Is it wise to do so? Right.
It's a lot, and it's for somebody dealing with substance abuse issues. I mean, obviously, we just who's the soap actor that we just lost because his son.
Christoph
you know,
St. John.
when people are in pain, they do turn to vice, and I'm just, unfortunately, we lost Christoph, but hopefully, we'll see. Wendy is trying to get herself together, but I think that's where she needs to be right now because I can't imagine. This is just the stuff we know about.
She needs all the support in the world.
This is just what we know about.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, well, we, Wendy, we love you and we wish you all the best. NASA has canceled its first ever all-woman spacewalk. 2 female astronauts were set to make history as the first women to perform a spacewalk together. But now NASA says that they don't have enough spacesuits. Apparently, only 1 medium-sized spacesuit is available, not enough for the 2 women. So now one of the women has been replaced by a male astronaut. I know this sounds terrible. Yeah. Like, why don't they have more spacesuits? Apparently, it's a little bit more complicated than that. First of all, these spacesuits are like 40 years old, but it's not just a spacesuit. They come in parts. This is the torso. She needed a medium torso, but they found this out at the last nanosecond. She's been practicing in a different spacesuit. It worked fine. But still, can we get some more spacesuits?
Yeah, get some more spacesuits. Let's think about more medium-sized people maybe going into space. But yeah, I don't think this is a sexist thing with NASA. I think she was really controlled, and they had planned it for that spacesuit, and they couldn't just switch it out at the last second. You don't do a improv and spacewalk.
Right, exactly.
This just strikes me as human error.
Yeah.
You know, they work for NASA, but they're people as well. And it just seems like they messed up. I'm sure nobody was more excited to have this happen than NASA, so they'll fix it and they'll do it the next time.
I think they will.
Lady, you guys are in space. That's amazing. You guys have already beaten billions of people, so enjoy it. Send some pictures.
Yeah.
Show these flat earthers what's up.
Is that what he's saying?
We should have been in space a long time ago.
What's that?
Technically, we should have been in space a long time ago.
We should have been in space a long time ago?
Women should have been in space a long time ago.
I'm not. What do you think? I'm standing blocking the shuttle entrance? Yeah, I want them there too.
Really, congratulations, women are in space. They
Well, why am I congratulating Tori? What did she do?
I sat here and talked about space.
Besides having the smelliest coffee.
It's not good.
I can smell it. It's like I'm in a Java hut.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, it's very.
You don't need to apologize, Tori.
It's too much.
You don't need to apologize.
Thanks.
You guys are in space. You don't have to apologize.
Exactly. Thank you, Tori, for getting us up there.
Anytime. Anytime, guys.
BBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, we dare you not to say "aw" when you see the sweet, sweet video this actress just shared. And up next, everyone has favorite smells. Clearly, Al does not like coffee, but did you know that certain aromas could affect how you feel? Our own Stephanie Jones gets the 411 on essential oils, and you, the viewer, are our fifth host. Pediatricians are pushing for a soda tax to discourage sugary drinks for kids. So DBL Nation, are you for a soda tax, or should the government stay out of it? We'll share your comments next.
Does your cat or dog...
Hey, John, can you show the space between my desk and Tori's panel? I can smell her coffee all the way over here.
I didn't make
Let's go see what's going on with this coffee.
You hear what I said?
What'd you put in here?
See what Erica said, so it'll be funny.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
All right. But I don't want to get.
I don't know what's in there.
You're totally doing a satire. That's a satire.
What's up, guys? What's happening?
Do you want to say it?
Make sure you couch it with that statement. Otherwise, it could go viral.
This seems like a bad idea, whatever they're discussing. I don't think it's a good idea.
Let's read some comments.
And it's not even that bad.
I think it's hilarious.
It's not even that bad. I had a joke.
Yeah, but people that don't know him, Tori,
I had
it
a
could
joke
go bad.
about. Can I say it?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Never mind. I didn't joke.
So let's look at some of your comments. Jacob Henry on YouTube. Jussie Smollett lied to police, so yes, he needs to apologize to police.
Really?
We've got
What a crazy world we live in.
Laura Talisco
Women
should
in
pay for the
space.
cost of the police FBI instetter who worked the case. You believe that Jussie Smollett should pay?
I'd agree with that.
Look at Christina Brooks.
He should be punished for falsifying a police report. That's Nessa Rice.
Christina Brooks writes on KUSA Denver, all this is showing is that even if you lie, you can get out of going to jail. If you're not telling the truth, own up to it and be ready for what should have happened. Again, I can't tell you, I'm watching.
What if he really is still a victim?
He's not. I'm saying this to be honest. I'm watching CNN, I'm watching Fox, I'm watching MSNBC. They're all saying this is the craziest thing they've ever seen.
So are they going to get to the bottom of it?
Yeah, and Rahm Emanuel was like, it's unbelievable to me that Jussie Smollett is claiming his innocence. He's not innocent. He's using hate crimes for his good, his pay, his salary.
So let's
he said that
expose
today.
him.
So something's gone really wrong. Now, if you're a PR person, just know that this is not how you roll out exonerating someone of 16 counts. You don't roll out and not explain it to anyone, because now we're all left with begging the question of what's going on. So the police are coming out against you, the mayor's coming out, something's happened in that state attorney's office.
Now, do you think they'll be able to uncover what happened?
I sure as heck think they will,
And he
because
lost
it's
his
bad for
career
Chicago.
and his name.
He needs to go to jail. If he's guilty, he should go to jail.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host, when we talk about what you're talking about. And today, that's a soda tax. Pediatricians are now calling for a tax on sugary drinks because they are so bad for kids, causing problems like diabetes, obesity, and tooth decay. And kids do drink a lot of sugary drinks, 30 gallons a year. That's a full bathtub. But the companies that make the drinks say a tax would cause huge layoffs, and that the government shouldn't be involved in regulating what people drink. So DBL Nation, what do you think? Do you support a soda tax, or should the government stay out of it? Let's get right to your comments.
All right. Vicky on Facebook says taxing it won't help. People will eat and drink what they want no matter the cause. Well, Vicky, you say that, but there have been times in my life where I didn't buy organic strawberries because they were $9. You do buy things because they are cheaper. If you can get the double-sized thing of Cool Ranch Doritos for $2, a lot of people are going to make that decision just because it's financially what's feasible. So I think a tax and making it more economically efficient to buy something healthier would help.
Michael says, another unfair tax. Why not just ban sugary drinks altogether? The problem is with the parents, but hey, punish everyone or punish no one. I used to live in New York in 2006, and I had friends that would smoke cigarettes, and they highly taxed cigarettes because they're so bad for you. They were like 15 bucks a carton or just to get a pack. And I know for a fact people could not afford it. It was a strong deterrent. It worked. People could not and would not smoke because of it. So I think this is a good idea. I think it's bad for the state. Obesity costs a lot in health insurance and medical that we're going to be paying later on when these kids grow up, so I'm for it.
Deb says, when I was a kid, we got one small cup of soda on Sunday night while watching Ed Sullivan. The rest of the time, we got milk or water. That's the cutest story I've heard all day, definitely. Am I for a tax? Absolutely not. You already take half of my paycheck. Now you want more because you want my juice money? You're like a bully in the playground. You're taking my juice money. You're taxing me for my juice money. I don't give my kids soda at all. They don't know what it tastes like, so why should I give it to them?
But this isn't soda. This is juice. That's what people...
But this is a soda tax.
Yeah, they want to apply the soda tax to juice because juice is so full of sugar. And that's what's alarming. There's such a lack of education when it comes to just read the label. You see organic juice boxes. They look healthy. Read the ingredients. The first 5 ingredients guaranteed is sugar, and it might be disguised as something else like agave syrup or brown rice syrup. It sounds a lot fancier and more wholesome because brown rice is in the word. It's sugar, and it's still going to affect your children in a bad way. I think. And
adults as well.
And
Think about how many frustrated people are like, hey, I want to do better. I want to work out. I want to do these kinds of things. And they don't see the results, and you don't understand that they're drinking their calories in a lot of times. Like if you get, super fancy drink at Starbucks, it'd be 800 calories.
I know. So
you need to watch what you're drinking.
Remember Fun Dip? You just eat sugar.
It was a bag of sugar.
A stick made of sugar.
A pixie stick was just, I'm going to dump it in my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I burned off the calories when I was a kid, right?
Yeah, did you have cavities? I did.
No, I had great teeth.
But you know what else? You ran outside, and a lot of our kids are sedentary now. They're on video games. They don't have the same
exercise. We also have the highest rate of diabetes in the world. I mean,
we're number 1.
Are you taxing it, yes or no?
I don't know where I stand about that. I think I tend to agree. I tend to agree with Al.
I mean, it's nuanced. You don't want to tell people what to do.
But you also want to protect your state from higher medical costs later on.
It's a good point, Tori. That's a great point because you pay for it later on in the hospital.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are back together. Raquel Villanueva has news at the moment.
That's right, Sam. Our hearts will go on for Martha and Snoop because they just recreated one of Titanic's most iconic scenes, and it's all to promote their new show season. Watch this. Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge debuts April 3rd on VH1.
Thank you, Raquel. We will be right back.
Hello, DBL Nation, and welcome to The Breaks, where we bring you all the latest trending stories around the web. This one's coming out of travelandleisure.com, and DBL Nation, as I'm talking about the story, feel free to write in and let us know your thoughts about it, because it's just a little bit weird. As you guys know, Madame Tussauds, they do the wax figures, and they're known for their sometimes realistic-looking wax clones. They're opening up overnight stays in April, on April 5th, 6th, and 7th. What do you guys think about this? Write in and let us know, because staying overnight with a wax figure sounds a little bit weird, but they are trying to create an actual experience. Overnight guests will get they'll get their own Instagram butler. You get, which means, you know, you get somebody to follow you around and take the most perfect pictures for Instagram. You get VIP entry into the figures. You get a behind the scenes look. You get a lot of exclusives for staying that one night, but again, staying overnight with wax figures? How weird does that sound? DBL Nation, again, write us in and let us know. The booking for this begins March 28th, right at 12 p.m. Eastern, and they said you should be online as soon as they start going on sale, because they predict that this will sell out. And to be honest, I couldn't blame people for getting in on this and trying it out, but me personally, a little bit weird. Again, DBL Nation, write us in and let us know. Staying overnight with wax figures, does that seem a little bit weird to you? I mean, as you know, they've got the Beyonce, the Lady Gaga figures. They've got a lot. So we'll see you next break, and be sure to write in.
Thanks, Leo.
Welcome back to DBL. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Well, I despise early morning alarms, and that got me thinking, surely there's got to be a better way that gets me out of bed. Now, I recently caught up with lifestyle vlogger Reba Savetkov to learn how essential oils can help me get up and even help me manage my other daily funks. Check it out. Reba, thank you so much for coming to my house.
Thank you for having me.
I needed you to come over because I feel as though I've been having just really low energy, and there's different points in the day where things just don't seem right, so I need a bit of natural help.
I can help you with essential oils. There's hundreds of essential oils, and they can help from anything from depression and anxiety to nausea and sleeping. Anything that's going on with you, usually there's an essential oil that would help. So what areas can I help you with?
Okay, there's a few. So the first thing is when I wake up in the morning, I'm really sluggish. I find it hard to wake up and just basically get out of bed.
I have one that can help. Peppermint is like gonna wake you up. You can leave the peppermint by your bedside, and all you're gonna do is put a little bit on your palms. It activates the hippocampus in your brain, and it just starts to stimulate everything.
Really?
Yeah, it gets you going. So what next?
Right, so after I've got out of bed, I go to work, and I just need something to help me stay focused.
A great one to help you with focus is rosemary. You can go and buy a roller stick. You're gonna fill it with a carrier oil, and then you're gonna put 5 to 10 drops of rosemary in here. Shake it up, and you can roll it on any of these points on your wrist, on your neck, and it's gonna help you with some memory and focus.
I'm finding that throughout the day, I'm always hungry. So what can you recommend to suppress my appetite a little bit?
Well, one of the great ones is bergamot.
Okay.
It can help in those stressful situations to suppress your appetite and also reduces stress at the same time. So what you would do is fill up one of these bottles with water and about 20 to 30 drops of bergamot, and you can just spritz it all over. So you can spritz it all around yourself or on your face.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to give all of this a go, and it smells so good. Now, a reminder, just because something is natural, it doesn't mean that it's safe. Essential oils can cause allergic reactions, so if using topically, test on a small area of your skin to make sure that it works for you. Coming up on DBL, J-Lo and A-Rod's engagement is brand new, but is their romance already in trouble? That story's ahead, but first, our pint-sized puppy wrangler is back, and he introduces an adorable dog that's looking for a home. That's in today's Roman Rescues, coming up next.
All right, Washo Sandra, Jeff says, I agree with you, Jeff. Washo Sandra.
Okay.
Says, I agree with Jeff about how they tax the drinks and lower electricity rates. It's just another tax grab.
Beverly Porter says, why are you not as outraged when priests are not convicted as you are about an actor from an Empire series? Beverly Porter, I think we are just as outraged, and I think any problem with justice is a problem everywhere, and I think when you're dealing with children, it's even worse, so I definitely understand your concern. Madeline Elizabetta on Louisville saying it's extorting money from Nike. Here's the thing, guys. Come here. We're gonna do a little Blasterpiece theater.
Blasterpiece theater,
you're Mark Geragos, and you represent Colin Kaepernick, okay? Colin Kaepernick works for Nike, okay? Mark Geragos, is now saying he's been a co-conspirator in extorting money from Nike. So why would Mark Geragos take his biggest cash cow for his biggest client and use it to extort himself? It makes no sense unless, to me, he was in on the sting, because you know it's a sting operation. But he was let go from CNN, so that confuses things. There's John's yawning. He doesn't like this story.
Maybe he doesn't care about the CNN thing. Maybe he doesn't really care that much about that.
You have to care. So I don't know if that's true, but why go after Nike when you represent Colin Kaepernick, who just signed with Nike?
Something's not right.
Smells fishy or smells delishy? Let us know if you guys think this is fishy and delishy, and also if the Jussie Smollett is fishy. I think it's like tilapia in here today. Red snapper everywhere. Don't you think it smells fishy, everything today? The whole Jussie Smollett, the whole Nike thing, everything smells like a little weird today.
I feel like just a big news week. It was just a random
and
series of events.
Everywhere is injustice.
I don't think we've ever had.
They said, it smells like snapper in here.
I don't think we've ever had just this many big stories back to back.
I get it.
Yeah, and also just like
It's gonna come out that somehow they're connected. Something's up.
I know.
We have no idea. We're just talking.
I think they're connected too.
Tilapia today.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then someone said, what if, like,
because no one knows.
No collusion with Jussie
down.
Smollett or Trump. Yeah, we don't know. But
Yeah.
I do somehow think some of these are connected.
How does the government and the Chicago Police Department, which a lot of people said they didn't handle it well, I feel like they did. We've covered their story every day, and every day it was like this much more information, this much more. And I was crediting the Chicago Police Department by not coming out with a rush judgment. So I think they handled it right. Again, who knows what's going to come out, but I thought they handled it right, so it's totally out of their hands and the government's hands. It was in the law's hands and the lawyers' hands, and they let it go. So whatever happened past that is, I mean, it's out of the police's hands.
And the police are saying it. They're holding press conferences, which is so rare, to be like, yo, we were left out of this conversation. You did a terrible job of the mayor saying that, the police department saying that. The prosecution and the state's attorney has done a terrible job in letting people know what's going on.
Is there some sort of, like,
going on with the state's attorney? That's what the
yeah, is there some sort of, like, this
it.
is terrible, like, not the right word, but is there some sort of loyalty that you have as a prosecutor to say, hey, listen, these are the charges. I know you guys did a great job, but this is what we have to do.
Yeah, and you think prosecutor and police usually go hand in hand. Of course, they have a good...
Jussie Smollett lied about attack despite dropping charges. Sorry, I'm brushing.
Welcome back to DBL. Our favorite puppy pitchman is back, and this time he has a pup with lots of energy who needs a forever home. Check out today's Roman's Rescue.
Hi everyone, this is my friend PJ here. He's 6 years old and an owner surrendered.
The owner surrendered because his family was apparently moving and he couldn't go, which is a story that the shelter hears all too often, huh?
Yeah.
He's so friendly. He gets along with other dogs.
And he's
just super happy.
And he's got quite a bit of energy.
He does.
And he knows sit and shake, so he's a very smart dog. As you can see, PJ's at the Augusta Animal Services. Please adopt him.
Oh, and I love how that dog has so much energy. I think it keeps you young. You need that life in you.
I mean, we're watching Roman and these dogs go right in front of us.
I know. Way to go, Roman. Here's what's coming up next.
Sexting strike against A-Rod. We'll tell you who's accusing him of sending naughty texts just days before popping the question to J-Lo. Then, Justin Bieber says he needs a break to repair deep-rooted issues. Will the superstar be able to find himself before he becomes a dad? And in mother news, it's baby fever. The celebrity moms who are welcoming new additions to their families. When DBL comes back.
guys, so we're giving you breaking news right now. Sam might not have even heard this. Prosecution in the Jussie Smollett case, just as I thought, is saying that they still think Jussie Smollett lied about the attack. However, they're still dropping all the charges. They're not only dropping the charges, they're sealing the charges, and they're clearing his entire record. So when you Google Jussie Smollett, it can't come up. Not that we all don't know who Jussie Smollett is. But we are now hearing from the prosecution, breaking news, that they believe he still lied, but that they're still dropping the charges. None of this makes sense to my mind. None of this makes sense to a lot of people's minds. Somewhere the prosecution has dropped the ball in not informing the police and the mayor what's going on. If you think Jussie Smollett lied, why are you dropping 16 felony charges and letting him go, expunging his record? Something smells fishy, not delishy. That's all I'm saying. Crazy. This is crazy.
You wanted credit for fishy and delicious.
No, people are writing it smells like tuna, like snapper. It's a thing now. Thank you.
They're just naming fish?
There was just, yeah, fish.
My earring fell off. But he wasn't trying.
Yeah, but he's OJ.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I do agree with you.
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We are live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Let's get started. Is there trouble in paradise? More rumors are swirling right now that A-Rod may have been unfaithful to his fiancée J-Lo. Former Playboy playmate Zoe Gregory claims A-Rod begged her for threesomes and sexted her. She tells The Sun this happened just weeks before the couple got engaged. But this isn't the first accusation like this for A-Rod. Right after he proposed, former baseball star Jose Canseco accused A-Rod of cheating with his ex-wife Jessica. However, she says it's not true. Listen, these are all rumors at this point, okay? It's gossip, but at the same time, there has been rumors surrounding A-Rod. Do you think it has something to do with them being so public with their relationship that they open themselves up to scrutiny, or do you think that Jennifer Lopez is turning a blind eye?
I think it's, well, this is obviously just speculation, but I think the public doesn't really like when you present yourself as the perfect people and the perfect couple. I think they say they do. They go, oh, you look so great.
Couple goals.
You look so handsome. But people secretly kind of want to see you fall a little bit. That's kind of just how we're wired. You look at the whole Tiger Woods thing. I mean, he presented himself as a family man. He sold Buicks. He sold family products, Gillette, things like that. And once he fell with the Perkins waitresses and the nightclub hostesses, everybody's like, this guy lied to us. And I think that's some of the backlash. Whereas if it was somebody that kind of was considered a bad boy, they'd be like, well, that's kind of how you presented yourself.
Good point.
You're not going to get the same backlash.
And is that fair? I mean, you and your wife, Jordan won Big Brother. You were on Big Brother. You guys have a lot of people that have followed your relationship. Have you ever had anybody try to start a rumor between the two of you, and how did you handle that?
Yeah, there's always people who start. Even over the 10 years that we've been together, people start rumors or say ridiculous things. You ignore them. You block them. You put them out of your life as much as you can.
Did it ever create drama?
Not for us.
Good for you.
Because we're not big enough to, we're not an A-Rod or J-Lo where it's in there every day, and some of these might be true with photos and things like that.
Jeff, you're A-Rod and J-Lo.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, but I'm just saying, if they chose to step out of the spotlight a little bit, maybe didn't go to as many events, maybe didn't have photo shoot covers like that, they wouldn't be as scrutinized. But if you want to be the #1 couple in the world, you open yourself up to scrutiny.
They do.
And I think that's exactly what they want.
Yeah, I was just on J-Lo's Instagram, and it was the first time, and I just looked at someone and I go, oh, it's starting to bug me. The ongoing onslaught of them perfectly looking coiffed every single time, the curation of it is getting a little tiresome.
Curation of it. That's interesting.
That's a perfect word.
I agree with you.
How many rumors have you heard about Tom Hanks and his famous wife?
You don't.
They're super famous.
Right. Rita Wilson?
Yeah, Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson, right.
Yeah.
You don't because they stay out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want to be out of it, that's why you're always going to have a Kardashian story, because they'll make a story. They'll call the paparazzi, tell them where they're going out. They want that attention. It keeps the show going.
If you can, if you want to be private, you can be private.
Absolutely.
In your opinion.
I believe so.
All right. Well, actress Mandy Moore is getting her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. A lot of big names came out for the celebration, including her fellow cast members on This Is Us, and her former co-star Shane West from A Walk to Remember was there too. Look at this cute pic she posted, and listen to what Mandy had to say about receiving a star.
Recently, I have found myself stepping into my power in a new way. I have. I'm finally starting to understand and own who I am. I've discovered a sense of authenticity and confidence in what's next. And I feel really lucky.
But that's not all. Mandy also is coming out with new music.
Yay!
Wow.
I am super excited about that.
That's terrible.
Why is that terrible?
You just, listen, to me, I think her
Because I don't want to hear a single from Mandy Moore.
I was looking at your face
If you got in my car and I was bumping Mandy Moore, you wouldn't question that?
Of course I would, because I don't bump Mandy Moore either. But it's a lot deeper than that. I mean, I was watching your expression while she gave her speech.
I'm a man of many faces.
She's overcome a lot. We've talked about it here on the show. She, according to her, was a victim of verbal abuse, control from her ex-husband. She gave up music for so many years, and she's an example to so many young girls out there. And I love to see that she's come out on top, that she feels like that this is a new chapter, and I think that that is a very important message. So I thought her speech was inspiring, while you were kind of like doing this.
I just wasn't
feeling it.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I don't know her work.
Okay.
Like, where would I have seen her work?
Her opus?
In my life, y'all know me. When would I ever encounter Mandy Moore in any scenario?
This Is Us, you don't watch, okay?
No.
Did you watch A Walk to Remember?
Absolutely not.
Have you?
Dude, it's a beautiful movie.
Kelly Schubert just gasped when I said no. Jeff, you've seen it.
Dude, not only did I see it, I watched it by myself and I cried.
Really?
Like a little
Please
girl.
watch it.
I trust Jeff. If he says it's good, I'll watch it.
Oh, you trust Jeff, but you don't trust my judgment in movies?
Two-man crew. And he doesn't steal ideas like Two Crazy Blondes.
Oh, now we know where it all came from.
Okay, that's where it's coming from.
Throwing insults that make no sense.
Well, actually, it makes perfect sense, but we can move on.
Yeah.
We are going to move on.
Yeah.
It does make perfect sense. I'm going to get the last word in.
It doesn't.
We have new details on singer Justin Bieber's battle with depression. He has talked about it many times before and now posted this photo on Instagram with a lengthy caption. It says in part, quote, "I was unhappy last tour and I don't deserve that and you don't deserve that. I am now very focused on repairing some of the deep-rooted issues that I have so that I don't fall apart, so that I can sustain my marriage and be the father I want to be." You're a huge Justin Bieber fan. What do you make of all this?
The same thing I've been saying when he's been coming out with this stuff before. He's lived a long, hard life, even though he's 25 and everyone thinks, hey man, this kid's super famous, go cry into your $100 bills. It's not like that. He's been famous since he was a little kid.
Yeah,
I don't know if he has any real friends to help him out with these things. I'm glad he has his wife, you know, but he's honest, he's going through something real.
Yeah.
And he's trying to explain to his fans slowly but surely why he's not coming out with new music, why he feels the way he does. I commend this kid. I feel like he's on the right track and he's hitting some roadblocks right now.
I actually feel really bad. And a week ago, I commended him for coming forward because I always want to destigmatize mental illness, but I feel like he's doing it because he knows if he doesn't speak out about it, people are going to say, why aren't you touring? Why aren't you coming out with new music? Why aren't you showing up to this red carpet? We need more, we need more, we need more.
They probably are.
And they probably are.
Yeah.
And I feel like he constantly has the weight on his shoulders, and that's a terror. I would never want to be in his shoes.
No, I
ever.
think he's, now, I always used to make fun of you for this, but when you watch the documentary of Justin Bieber, he was a drum prodigy at like 2.
Really?
This kid was
yeah.
This kid
Al,
is a...
watch the movie and then watch A Walk to Remember. I'm telling you, you got your weekend done.
But it's true, and at some point, his father figure and his mother figure were not very parental. He was allowed to go drag racing and encouraged. At some point, this kid has never grown up properly, and instead of doing the J-Lo and A-Rod curation, he's trying to keep it real and be like, I'm losing it here. My only worry is, should he just get off social media completely?
Yeah, but then it's exactly what you said. You go back to the point where you're like, now people are going to forget me.
Yeah, I know.
Well, maybe is it better that people forget you and you're alive?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to not trying to really push it. I know. But we've seen people with issues. You cross that line, whether you mean to or not. But when you're playing around substances to kind of dull the pain, you never know when you can.
He doesn't know a life that isn't in the spotlight.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he needs a complete move to Vietnam for 5 years and just to reset.
I mean, really, it's
Vietnam too.
That's
a problem.
I never even thought about that.
They know him everywhere. There's nowhere to go. That's right.
All right.
Wow.
Yep. All right. Let's get to this next story. Birth control for men might come sooner than you think. Now we have more information on a pill for men. Results from a study were presented yesterday that found men who took the drug had, quote, no serious adverse effects. However, there were some issues like fatigue, headache, acne, decreased libido, and mild erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, I call those issues.
That'll do it.
Have you looked at the insert when you get female birth control? It's about the size of a scroll. Thank you very much.
All right, those last two were kind of humdingers though, Sam.
So is decreased libido for a woman. So is acne for a woman. So is cystic fibrosis. It's enough. Like with the woman, like always having to be the burden of taking the birth control, of having to have all of the different.
I'm just saying those are some issues.
Those are some symptoms.
Symptoms.
Yeah, no, you're right. Those are side effects. But I want people to understand that with every type of birth control that you have benefited from, and women, thank God, have benefited from, come with a slew of side effects that we have taken upon ourselves for decades. So I just have to say that.
All right, I'm just saying, get the Netflix ready. Those last two.
What does that mean?
I mean, if you can't perform,
having
you can't perform. That's a perfect drug.
Better start binge
that
watching.
Every single person has that side effect. You know that, right?
Mild? What are you talking about? Salsa? No, this is like you need an erection to have sex, Tori. I don't know. I don't want to break that to you.
All right, muy caliente over there. All I'm saying is that Sam is right when we talk about the problems that we've had to go through, and there's some severely private ones that we have to deal with for years and years and years. No one seemed to give a damn. Now, because you might not get it up, it's such a big deal.
Thank you, Tori Shulman.
But I would say that you're clapping and screaming at us. We didn't even say anything.
Screaming.
It's not going to be available for 10 more years. What do you want us to do? Seriously.
I'm saying you might not want to jump and complain about the first side effect. That's all.
Well, the first
that's a big side effect.
So are some of the things we have.
Okay, but if we can't get an erection, then what's the point?
If we don't have the tool to make that baby, you're not going to have a baby.
Right. I do have to say, but when you say side effects, it doesn't mean the entire pool of people. Just like when females have their birth control issues, it doesn't mean the entire pool of individuals.
Okay, but can I say, honestly,
do you think that men and women should share the burden?
Yes.
Okay, welcome to the club.
I mean, like, maybe until this is perfected, maybe both you guys talk about.
Perfected.
Yeah,
is ours perfected? Is ours perfected?
But is it not better?
Yes, I was taking Yaz, and they literally caused blood clots so much that you could have died. So there's some major risks.
Yaz was also 10 years ago.
You're screaming at me now like we're the pharmacy.
No one's talking. No one's screaming.
No one's talking?
All right.
Thank you.
This is a typical man versus women conversation. We lost for no reason.
You don't think you lost because you were wrong? You don't think you lost because it was an unintelligent
We can't do anything about it. You guys are screaming at us and clapping.
Am I screaming?
There was clapping.
Or are you screaming?
I tend to get a little worked up.
Okay, so let's call it what it is here.
Okay, there was no clapping in my face.
You weren't huffing and puffing?
you huff
Again,
and puff.
Back to the man-women thing. I'm sorry, it's true. That's true. I'm in the doghouse. Now I've ruined my weekend because I said something stupid.
It's Tuesday. It's not Friday.
That's it. It's going to be a long week for Big Jeff.
Women are very emotional.
All right, let's move on. Game of Thrones fans will want to grab the latest issue of Rolling Stone magazine. Stephanie Jones has a story, and it's coming in hot.
That's right. Game of Thrones fans are buzzing about the April issue of Rolling Stone. That's because two major stars from the HBO series are on the front cover. Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner, who play the Stark sisters on the hit series, open up about their time on the show and their real-life friendship. The article describes how they became fast friends while reading their first scripts back in 2009, and they have been inseparable ever since. Sophie Turner also talks about the season 8, telling the magazine she is very satisfied with how the show ends. And the final season premieres on April the 14th. I can't wait. Maybe that means the Starks are going to take the throne, Jeff.
Ooh.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. I love me some Arya Stark.
You think it's going to be Arya?
That's
your girl.
I think it's Khaleesi all the way.
Oh, she's the one with the dragons.
Oh, yeah.
I love her. Never seen the show, but I love her. Coming up on DBL, a Grammy-winning singer makes a big announcement on social media, but it's not about her music. Also, the sweetest video you'll see today. You don't want to miss a very special moment with actress Hilary Duff and her baby daughter. That's coming up next. Oh my gosh. Get your tissue ready.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry.
Chris said he wanted to go up against me on this, but we're going to go to the table instead because I would win anyway. So let's go
I
talk
have a question for the boys.
Yeah,
We have a question.
Yeah, men, we have questions.
All right, so Arlie says this. I know this is a real conversation, but I'm laughing so much. All right, guys, would you rather just get a vasectomy than take a birth control pill every day?
I'll get a vasectomy.
So that's what someone wrote in.
What about when you're 22 years old? You're not going to get a vasectomy at 22.
I'm not, though. I'm 40.
Okay, so let's think about the future generations.
I don't think a lot of 22-year-olds are going to take. I think this is if a guy was going to take this. I think this is I see a professional man that's sat down with his wife. He has health insurance, first of all.
I do. You see where you're coming from.
So it's like this is a decision that you guys have talked about. Like, hey, we want to get a house. We want to have kids for 5 years. I think so maybe that guy would be more responsible because he's at a different point in his life. But nobody down in Cancun, after ripping a michelada at 8 o'clock in the morning, is taking.
I think. Listen, I do not want to sound sexist at all because I know there's a lot of responsible young men out there. But
on average, we can
But
talk
on
in general
average,
yes.
on average, the young men that I knew in my early 20s could not even pick up after themselves. How are they going to remember to take a birth control pill at the same time every day?
But I think that's because it was normalized for us, right? Women always took the pill. If in 10 years, 20 years, it's normal that guys just take it, it's a part of their thing, like Viagra or whatever it is.
I'll be honest with you though, like honestly, if a guy is struggling with erectile dysfunction, that is going to affect his confidence. And that does affect you as his partner.
So does our losing our libido.
So does drying up. Because guess what? That's another one.
Yeah. That's what I did want to say.
Another one. Weight gain, drying up, acne. How about the fact that you have a higher likelihood of getting cervical cancer?
Belly fat.
It's just depression. They say a lot of people why young women are depressed is because their hormones are off balance because of their birth control. So just saying.
Nailed it.
Welcome back to DBL. Social media is popping, and some really amazing moms are talking about their babies, so we're breaking it all down in mother news. Ooh, there it is. Actress Hilary Duff is loving motherhood for the second time around, sharing this adorably sweet birth video 5 months after welcoming her daughter Banks into the world. The baby girl reached for a hug in the first moments of her life. Let's watch that again.
She's here, guys. You did it. I know.
Oh, big hug, Mama. Oh my God, in the caption, Hilary says it was as though Banks was saying, "Good job, Mom." Hilary had a home birth with her boyfriend Matt by her side, and her son Luca from a previous marriage was playing with Legos downstairs through it all. How incredible is that?
That's a beautiful thing. I just, at first I thought maybe we were kind of reaching with the baby. I didn't see the clip. I always like to wait to watch on the show. That baby definitely reached for that. For her, so that was a beautiful thing.
And they even say, babies will crawl up to you on the mom to get, their first feeding, so to speak. And that's why, like, the woman's, like, navel area darkens, like, it's almost like a bullseye. It darkens, and then the nipple darkens. And that is just biology. It just shows how miraculous a woman's body is, because they want to help the baby, who has very foggy vision in the beginning, especially if you're a preemie, be able to get, it's primal.
That's superhero stuff. That is superhero stuff. Unbelievable.
I know. It's phenomenal.
Amazing.
What a beautiful video. I love that she shared it. Way to go. Well, sing it.
You do it.
Come on.
Sing it. I did last time. Sing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes.
His face. That's what I wanted him to do. The singer, that singer Alanis Morissette, she's pregnant again. You ought to know.
You didn't know that by the impersonation?
No, I didn't. She posted this to Instagram announcing her third pregnancy at the age of 44. Alanis has 2 kids with her husband, ages 2 and 8. Love her, love seeing that she's 44 years old, healthy pregnancy. You know, a lot of people thought that, you know, once you're hit 40, you no longer have eggs, you're no longer allowed to have babies. And if you do have a baby, that you do have a high likeness of that baby not being healthy, which part of that is true. But with the right care, you can make sure that you have a healthy baby at a later age.
Right. I mean, obviously medical technology has made this where it's not that uncommon of a thing. I would say we do a story kind of like this every 2 or 3 weeks, which is a beautiful thing. People, especially when we're talking about entertainers that kind of, you know, were super busy in their 20s and 30s, now they're kind of getting their real life back, and sometimes that happens in their 40s, so good luck to them.
Even not successful, like I'm 37 and I've got a time's ticking, and it's like I really wanted that career, and I wanted that career before kids and women were allowed to work and be in a career. So it's not even, I'm just glad that we're seeing the acceptance of it. I'm glad we're seeing the medical evolution of it, and I'm very happy for Alanis Morissette.
Yeah. I don't want to make this a big thing, but honestly, I know we're praising that and things like that, but a lot of people don't have the medical resources or anything like that at that age to make sure you have a proper delivery. It's very dangerous to have, the later you get, to, you know, on the baby and the mother. I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah, I think, and the doctors,
that's a fact.
You would hope that everybody would have the right resources to make sure that everything's
you would hope so.
Yeah, you do.
But it's not a level playing field.
And get this, 9 nurses, 9 at a hospital in Maine are all pregnant. Here are the moms and moms-to-be, and even crazier is all the nurses. They work in the labor and delivery unit. As you can imagine, it was pretty unreal when they all found out. Watch.
I feel like every other day we would come into work and there would be like, someone else is pregnant, and then we'd start writing a list. The greatest floor for like pregnancy resources, because everywhere we look, there's someone that's an expert.
The babies are due back-to-back starting in April all the way up to July. Tori.
Oh my gosh. You know what's really funny? When I bought my new house, the woman, the owner before, says, yeah, if you drink the water here, you'll get pregnant. And so when I came, she had left a glass of water for me. Isn't that so sweet?
So sweet.
Women supporting women. It's fantastic because you don't feel awkward. You can ask anything embarrassing. It's fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
Your
it.
realtor said that to you?
No, the person who had owned the house before.
Oh. Just give you a random glass of water?
Left her a glass of water.
I fell asleep right out. No.
Coming up, a fascinating story about a former pastor with Alzheimer's. Find out why his family is absolutely sure his faith is still strong. That's next on DBL.
DBL Nation, it's Lex, and I'm here with the DBL Digital team giving you guys more top trending stories during the breaks here at Daily Blast Live. So today we decided to do something new. I'm perched on Kelly's desk, as you guys can see. I'm calling it
the news desk. Lex on the desk.
Lex on a desk.
I ruined that. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. So anyway, here's the trending story that's happening for you guys right now. It's coming from the Today Show. It's actually pretty interesting. I'm not sure how I would feel if I was a passenger on this flight. So a British Airways flight got detoured. They were supposed to go from London to Germany, and they accidentally landed in Scotland. Nobody noticed the entire flight, and the flight attendant said, here we are preparing to land in Scotland, and all the passengers were kind of like, huh, that's not where we were going to. And apparently the ground staffer put in the wrong airport code. So originally it was supposed to go DUS was the original destination, and they ended up going to EDI. So I'm not really sure how you make that mistake. Seems like a fair amount of different letters that you're using there. But luckily it wasn't too much of a deterrent. It seems like they handled the situation very well. The passengers didn't stay on the ground for too long, and they made it to their destination in Germany shortly. So DBL Nation, write us in. Have you ever had to make an emergency landing on a flight, or do you guys have any crazy flight stories that you want to share with us? I actually, a little while back, I was in Thailand, and the flight there was so long. It was like 36 hours of traveling. It was ridiculous. Bye, guys.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about one of my favorite topics, faith. Watch how a man is using the Word of God to keep him going through the fight of his life. This former pastor with Alzheimer's finds clarity in preaching. Jim Green spent his life as a pastor and missionary. In his old age, he developed Alzheimer's, which has stolen most of his memories from him.
It's pretty full-blown.
But despite his condition, he still retains his ability to preach the Word of God.
I've learned that with God, there is no getting even.
For his family, it's painful to see the man they knew slip away. But the lessons he preached and still preaches keep them going.
The faith that we learned from him is what is sustaining us now as he goes through this.
Even though his memories continue to fade, Jim's faith is still as strong as ever.
Even in the midst of the Alzheimer's and all that it does to you, he still has that deep love for God's Word and for sharing it.
Absolutely beautiful. We will be right back.
Bo here, you guys are fired up about the fifth host question, which has to do with taxing sugar, the sugary beverages. This has been done before. I want to say Philadelphia might have been the first city to actually accomplish it. So Jason Dameron, look at all the people against taxing things that cause diabetes. Do you know how expensive it is to treat diabetes and related illnesses? How many of you are for taxing cigarettes and alcohol to get people to quit? I say tax it all, alcohol, tobacco, and sugar. Diane Banks says children need more fruits and veggies and ice cream homemade. David Davis says taxes will do what? Revenues for the government. That's true, and that brings up a good point, David, which is, if you tax something like this, you're trying to deter people, obviously, and where does that tax money go? Their lobby is going to say, that is for the beverage makers, is that you're just going to kill our industry, and it's unconstitutional, and you're going to kill jobs, and it's an unfair regulation of our industry. But we pay taxes all the time for things that we don't necessarily want. I mean, you think it's going to roads and bridges and education, but it might not be. So that's just something to consider too. Aaron Tennant says, I only live once. Quit taxing all this. That's right. You guys remember the Boston Tea Party, right? Boston Tea Party was because Americans didn't like having their tea taxed by the British. And so what did? They dumped all the tea into the water, into the Boston Harbor. Hence, the birth of our nation was based in part out of being upset about being taxed. So I'm with you on that. I don't like being overly taxed. New York. Look at New York, or New York City, New York State. People are leaving there in droves and heading to places like Texas and Florida because of no state income tax. The taxes have become so unreasonably high in places like that. California is kind of the same. Nikki Starbucks Schnell, I love this. Consumption-based taxes on non-essential goods are much more palatable in my opinion. Well, I see what you're saying, Nikki. There's an argument for consumption-based taxing. That is, I believe, the fair tax, not the flat tax. Fair tax would be taxing things based on your consumption, not on your production. I've heard that argument before. It's not a bad plan. Jeff Bowerman, when will they stop trying to control what I eat and drink? My body, my life, I'll make the decision. Also a great point, Jeff. We make these decisions, and the whole purpose of our liberty is that, for better, for worse, we consume things and we take that risk. Would you tax meat for having fat? Would you tax canned tuna for having preservatives? You could tax anything for any reason. You know what I mean? So I just personally feel this is a slippery slope that, as well-intending as it may be, will end up killing industry. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to stop the people that are purchasing it. You would have to quadruple the price of a Coke can for people not to drink it, is my opinion. Jerry Armstrong, why do parents allow this, and why should we all be taxed because of lazy parents? That's kind of how I felt, Jerry. It's about the parenting. If you're the parent, you don't have to buy the sugary beverage for the kid. No one's forcing you to do that. Don't say it's because it's cheaper. No, there are low-cost alternatives to that as well. The organics, yeah, I get it. They're high priced, but just because it's organic doesn't make it good. You can have organic and still have high sugar content. So I would just encourage parents more to look on the back of the label of what you're buying and find out how much sugar is in it. Doesn't matter if it says organic. It says organic apple juice. It could have 30 grams of sugar in it. I think that's all the time we have comments for, but all of you had really, really good comments on this, and I really liked them. They're all very well made, so thanks for those comments.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, T-Bone?
This is about the Biebs. Singing Mary says, I think Justin Bieber has come a long way, and I'm pulling for him. I'm with Jeff. What an honest and mature statement. Jacob says, I kind of have to agree with Tori. He needs to get off of social media. Justin Bieber is starting to become a total wreck. He needs to get off social media and take a break altogether. And, you know, we're just trying to help out. We're not trying to say he should do this, he should do that. But at some point, when you continually have a pattern of falling down, maybe you do want to reset yourself.
And it seems like he's trying to, right?
Yeah, I just feel like he's like thinking about everybody else and not himself.
Yeah. Right.
And it's heartbreaking. All right, well, we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great Tuesday.
Hi, DBL Nation. So there's a famous rapper in some hot water right now, Cardi. So here's what's going on. Over the weekend, Cardi decided to get on her Instagram Live and talk about all the things she's been through to get where she is today. She said back in her stripping days, she used to take men back to their hotel room, and she said she would drug them and then rob them. A lot of people are not happy about this. I want to go to the table and Tori, and if Tori, are you cool if I come to you on this? Cool. Cardi. So Cardi B came out and said that she used to drug people and then rob them, men, during her stripper days. And so people are super outraged about that.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, why would she say that? That's the question.
How long ago was she a stripper?
I don't actually know that.
There might not be a statute of limitations that.
Well, that's my question. That's why I came over to you. Why would she say this?
She might not think it's a big deal, but that's a big deal.
If a man thinks he was robbed by Cardi B back in the day, does he have something here? The statute of limitations. She said it on Instagram Live over the weekend.
First off, yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
If there was something and you can prove it, and she just said that, that's really bad.
Yeah, really silly, right? I don't know.
It's a bizarre.
I don't know why she would have done that.
Yeah. Is it still up or has it been taken down?
I believe it's been taken down. Yeah. She said she was getting off Twitter for a while, but then she got back on Twitter. So this is so weird. I love Cardi B, but I'm not surprised. But like, this is not okay. DBL Nation, let us know what you think. We'll see you soon.
No pun intended.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live, always real, always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like that?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, March 26th. We are live, and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Right now, I'm here with Erica, Tori, and Al. We got a lot to get to, guys, because we have some big breaking news in the Jussie Smollett case. It's just coming in. All the charges have been dropped in the case against the Empire actor, and his record has been wiped clean. He was facing 16 felony counts of lying to police for allegedly staging a hate crime. Jussie, who was represented by attorney Mark Geragos, made an emergency court appearance this morning. Prosecutors in Chicago dropped the charges, and Jussie is forfeiting his $10,000 bond and agreeing to perform community service. Jussie spoke to reporters earlier this morning. Here's some of what he said.
I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
And some officials in Chicago are not happy with the decision, obviously. Here's what Chicago Superintendent Eddie Johnson just said.
My personal opinion is that you all know where I stand on this. Do I think justice was served? No. Where do I think justice is? I think this city is still owed an apology.
And Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel did not hold back with his opinion on this either. Watch.
This is an unbelievable, not just whitewash of justice, this is a person now who's been let off scot-free with no sense of accountability of the moral and ethical wrong of his actions.
So, Tori, I want to go to you first because you kind of know the law a little bit. So many questions I have.
And just so you know, the prosecution has just come out because here's the main thing. The prosecution is not talking to the police, and that's a terrible thing in a state's case. You don't want that to happen. So recently, we just heard that the prosecution came out and said, I still believe that Jussie Smollett lied, but I'm still dropping the charges. Now, we need to know why, because I've never heard of anyone randomly dropping 16 charges, having your record cleared. It makes very little sense.
I was doing some research earlier. They expunged all of his record
it's gone.
On the 16 counts, and that doesn't happen for 6 months to a year on a normal case.
But something collapsed completely, or something was done, because this happened incredibly fast.
And then they sealed the records as well.
And the police don't know what's going on, neither does the mayor. That's not a good look.
And neither do we.
Well, as soon as this story broke today, one of the first things that happened was sources from the DPD were condemning the prosecutor. Which means that there is a rift there. I think that something was botched and someone was unable to fix it. Because if you even look at the timeline, it's the end. It happened at the end of January. Here we are, the end of March. This is moving at like a Law and Order episode pace. When have you ever seen, first, when the superintendent came out and said, Jussie Smollett did this because of this. That never sat well with me to begin with, because you can't have the superintendent or what's his name, police.
Eddie Johnson?
Yes, Eddie Johnson.
Right.
You can't have him be also the judge and the jury.
Right, you're tainting the jury pool.
Yeah, so there was absolutely every reason for there to feel like there was a quick movement in order to get this shut down. I think anytime when you move quickly, there are going to be mistakes made, and there were clearly some mistakes made, because the fact that he still had to pay the $10,000 and he's still doing community service means that he's not innocent.
Right.
They just can't.
He's not
prove him
exonerated
guilty.
in any way. They just dropped the charges, and I think the prosecution needs to do a better job, the state's attorney, at giving us some information, because right now you look like you have a rift between the two parts of your judicial system.
And I think it might have moved so quickly because Eddie Johnson, it took this clearly personally. He's very proud of the city of Chicago, as he should be, and he took this personally as a stain on his city that didn't need to be. And I think his comments and his rhetoric reflected that. And when you're emotional, Erica, you say it all the time, when you're emotional, you can overlook things. And, you know, maybe they didn't follow procedure, because it seemed like this was a slam dunk case to people that know nothing about the law. It was like, this is...
But if it was a transactional clerical error, right, something inadmissible, they did a search warrant wrong, say that. Let us understand that, not just we're dropping the charges. Why? We're not telling you. Because that makes us going to speculate, we're going to speculate, we're going to speculate.
Which makes me feel like there's something fishy going on.
Smells fishy.
Right. I guess we'll have to see. We'll wait and see. All right, guys. Right now, we're hearing from lawyer Michael Avenatti after he was charged with trying to extort more than $20 million from Nike. Let's get over to Kelly Schubert with the latest.
Jeff, Michael Avenatti has been released on $300,000 bond, and we're learning if he's convicted of all charges, he could spend the rest of his life in prison. But right now, Avenatti is tweeting his defense and says Nike is just trying to divert attention from its own crimes. Listen.
I will never stop fighting that good fight. I am highly confident that when all of the evidence is laid bare in connection with these cases, when it is all known, when due process occurs, that I will be fully exonerated and justice will be done.
And Jeff, we're learning another celebrity lawyer could be tangled up in the case. Mark Geragos has been fired as a CNN legal contributor after multiple news outlets reported that he's the unnamed co-conspirator mentioned in the criminal complaint with Avenatti. Geragos has represented people like Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Colin Kaepernick, and as you just heard, Jussie Smollett. Now, Jeff, this story just keeps developing. I'll have to keep you updated.
Thank you so much, Kelly. It's a little weird, Erica. You've been saying...
It's not weird.
There's like a whole...
There's something going on here.
It's somehow connected.
All I know is I don't know anything, but I'm going to speculate this. The Varsity Blues, Operation Varsity Blues, wasn't the target. There was a larger target that made Varsity Blues come out. Then we found out that there was a larger target that has yet to be identified. Now this thing with Nike is happening, and that was what, a $20 million extortion plot? That was just for the extortion.
Yeah.
How much are they protecting? So now you have all of these people sitting at a table and nobody has clean hands. So it has to come down to who's ready to roll first. And now people are just going to start rolling because they're trying to protect whatever they have left. This is insane.
It is insane.
It's a good conspiracy theory.
It's a fantastic conspiracy theory. The other thing is that Geragos represents Colin Kaepernick, who just signed with Nike. Why are you trying to extort money from your cash cow of your client if it's Nike? I don't understand the co-conspiracy here with Mark Geragos. They have it all on tape. It was all a sting. Avenatti looks corrupt as hell, but something here is fishy to me too.
I've said it for a long time. There's just too much money when it comes to college sports, and it's like, where I joke around about the Girl Scouts, like, where's that money? First of all, where is it? And also, you know, with college sports, you have this incredible billion-dollar business, and you don't pay the people that make the business a thing. Everybody's hands have to be dirty because it's a foul enterprise. If somebody was watching the show and found out we didn't pay any of the employees, like, just the host, they'd be like, what?
Well, Avenatti's tweeting right now about specific people that he's now calling out for Nike about this type of situation. So you might be onto something.
All right. You guys get paid for this?
Right?
Big news breaking for talk show host Wendy Williams. Her husband Kevin Hunter has reportedly had a baby with his rumored longtime mistress in the past few days. We have our own source on the show, on the story, who says the baby's name is Journey and that Wendy learned about the baby on Sunday night. Wendy recently revealed she has been living in a sober house, and check out this photo of Wendy taken yesterday. Do you see what's not on her finger? That's right, her wedding ring outside her sober living facility. After more than 20 years of marriage, Wendy has not responded yet to the reports about the love child and has continued to film her show like a boss, but we'll let you know when something does come out or she speaks out. So, Erica, we always talk about this, and we're, speculating, should she go back to work, should she not go back to work? And the more I think about this and the more things that come out, I feel like I'm so affected when something happens at home, something so little, you know what I mean? Just something, I forgot to do something, or she's mad at me about the baby. It affects my job personally, it really does. And I could see it on camera, you know, and people are like, what's wrong with you today? I can't imagine how this has to be affecting her. If she's handling this, she is a boss.
Is it, or do you separate yourself as a boss knowing I can't do this anymore? I want to be crystal clear on my sobriety, step away from these distractions.
I think that she has to come forward, and first of all, she can't hide from it, but also I'm really concerned about the idea that he may have put her in rehab.
I've heard that as well.
In order to keep her away from
in the
this
sober
baby,
house. That's what
baby information. And that she does need to come up because he's a part of her empire. So she needs to reestablish this is the Wendy Williams brand.
Wow.
Wow, I love Erica's theories.
It's the same thing. I've heard that they're putting her away in the sober house so she couldn't be there for the birth.
That makes sense. Ooh. It's sickening, but makes sense.
It's horrible.
DBL is live. We'll bring you breaking news as soon as it happens. Coming up, we dare you not to say "aw" when you see this really touching video. That's actress Hilary Duff right there. She just shared it. And up next, everyone has favorite smells, but do you know that certain aroma could affect your feel? Our own Stephanie Jones gets a 401 on essential oils, and you, the viewer, are the fifth host. Pediatricians are pushing for a soda tax. They don't want kids drinking this stuff. So DBL Nation, that's you, DBL Nation. Are you for a soda tax, or should the government stay out of it? We'll share your comments next.
I'm for a soda tax. Let us know what you think, DBL Nation. Use that hashtag DBL Take. But let's go to the table and see what the hosts are doing up here.
You're pro soda tax?
I am pro soda tax. I think it hurts people. Yeah.
No.
You know what's
yeah, that's what I want, to give the government some more money. I don't even get paid for this job.
I feel like you should talk to someone in HR. Vote to Count just says Avenatti needs Jussie's lawyer. The ironic thing is Avenatti was just charged co-conspiring with Jussie's lawyer, Mark Geragos. I feel like I'm on crazy pills today. I feel like it's
it seems like everybody only hires like from a pool of 5 or 6 lawyers.
It's
for
true.
Celebrities.
Yeah. You have the Gloria Allreds, you have those people. But,
and you can almost tell with the crime who they're going to go get.
But Geragos, to me, is way too smart to have been caught in a sting, and he's not being charged with anything. So I keep thinking he's done it as he was in on the sting. The only thing that stops me is he was just fired from CNN as
That's what I was going to say.
So it's this back and forth.
Yeah, but I really do think that it's something that everyone is so dirty in this situation that they talk about it. Oh, it's an open conversation.
Including Nike.
Yeah, they're ever, because it's like, okay, if I have something on you, and you have something on me, and then he has something on you, then we all know that none of us are innocent. So we can have a pretty even footing conversation about something, knowing that if I spill his secret, he could spill your secret, and you could spill
like triple blackmail.
So it's like you can have open conversations with people because you know that you all are in it deep together.
Wow. And I mean, what you said is basically how the FBI gets people to roll. They go, once they get Tori, and she's like, well, Erica did this, here's her password, and then you're gonna go, because it's all about whoever rolls first gets the best deal, whoever rolls second gets the second best deal.
That's why I think Geragos would have been smart to have rolled first, knowing him as a lawyer. Knowing there's a sting, I'll co-conspire, but I won't be charged. Why isn't he charged? He's on the tape too.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Fifth Host, and we talk about what you're talking about. And today, that's a soda tax. Pediatricians want to tax to discourage parents from buying sugary drinks for kids. And right now, kids drink 30 gallons of sugary drinks a year, and that can cause all kinds of health problems, especially if you do it at once. So, DBL Nation, nobody liked that joke?
I did.
Thanks, everybody. What do you think? You support this tax or what?
All right, Jeff, let's get to the viewers' comment. Vicky on Facebook says, taxing it won't help. People will eat and drink what they want, no matter the cause. Vicky, I agree, and I don't think that it's fair to tax, especially because a lot of people who do drink and consume beverages and things like this are doing so because it's what's available and it's what's affordable. And when we're talking about what's available and what's affordable, I also would like to bring up the idea of collard greens. Since when have collard greens become so expensive, and also you aren't able to get them in the same places that you were before? And why? It's because they become a yuppie food when they were, and I'm being honest, when they were a food that was considered for people who weren't able to get other vegetables. And now because it's a yuppie food, they're expensive, and my mom has to send me 10, 20 miles down the street to get them for Thanksgiving. That is a great example of what happens when you have a commodity and then not very many people able to get it.
That's very, very true. It's the new kale.
That happened to me in my wave gel.
Your wave gel.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston said this wave gel, the black men brush their hair with, said it was a great way to get waves in your hair for $2, and it's like you can't find it now.
You know they used to serve lobster to inmates on Alcatraz, and they complained about it?
Yeah,
really?
The cockroaches of the ocean.
Yeah, well, now look at them. They're delicious.
Michael says another unfair tax. Why not just ban sugary drinks altogether? The problem is with the parents, but hey, punish everyone or punish no one. She is absolutely right, Erica, that there's something called a food desert. When you're in a place that doesn't have strong affordability, you don't have a Whole Foods. You have these really fast food things, that's all you can eat. However, in the end, the state is going to be able to be being paid more for obesity, diabetes, dental problems. So to me, I think the tax is fair because it's going to save us money on the end.
All right. And finally, Deb says, when I was a small kid, we got one small cup of soda on a Sunday night while watching Ed Sullivan, good old Ed. The rest of the time we got milk or water. All right, Deb, that was super adorable. And you know what? I think treats in small amounts are okay. I think that they mean something. If you're having sugary stuff all the time in your cereal, in your drinks, you don't appreciate it as much. Clearly, you still remember that Sunday night years later. So I think that's a good way to go. Give kids some incentives. Show them that like healthy food can taste good as well, and it doesn't have to be just a treat.
Moderation, but no tax, please. I got enough with it.
No, you don't like the tax?
What do you mean? I'm already giving away half my paycheck. We're moving on. Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are back together. Let's get over to Raquel Villanueva. She has the news at the moment.
That's right, Jeff. Our hearts will go on for Martha and Snoop because they just recreated one of Titanic's most iconic scenes, and it's all to promote the new show season. Watch this. That song will be stuck in your head all day. You're welcome. Martha and Snoop's Potluck Party Challenge debuts April 3rd on VH1.
That seemed a little forced. And also, Martha better not be sauteing some collard greens. That's all I got to say.
Someone wrote in, Eric, are you being sponsored by collard greens? That's hilarious.
Have you guys ever seen that show?
Martha and Snoop?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
I think I saw like the first season. It was funny. They're funny.
They have an interesting dynamic. I mean, I know some people don't dig it.
Ooh.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh, no, I was just saying something. I have to look somewhere, Erica.
Coming up on DBL, a big day for Mandy Moore and her whole This Is Us family. They all show up for the honors on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Plus, essential oils smell good, but can they do a body good? Our own Stephanie Jones has the lowdown coming up next.
Okay, hey DBL Nation, I'm here to talk March Madness with you, and guess what? Out of millions and millions of brackets that were submitted in the NCAA.com challenge, one of them is perfect through the Sweet 16. That is the first time that has happened in the NCAA.com bracket challenge. Now, the person with the perfect bracket is from Columbus, Ohio, and the odds of having a perfect bracket to the Sweet 16 was 1 in 281 trillion. But now we're going to move on to the bracket challenge that we really care about, which is the DBL bracket.
You were just talking about my perfect bracket?
Well, you're not quite perfect.
I'm not perfect, but I am winning the DBL bracket, right?
He has. Jeff has gotten 39 of 48 games predicted correctly. In second place is Brandon, who got 37 of 48 games
Your name's not on
correctly.
the list. Yeah, it is. No, it's not.
What do you mean? I'm on
Chris is next.
And then Chris
You're fifth place.
is in third place, and he got 36 of 48 games correctly. Now, sadly, our man Rob, who's recovering from ACL surgery at the moment, he's in last place.
It was the medication.
So, Rob,
he needed a leg up.
Rob, we know you're watching, and we love you, but sadly, sorry, you're in last place.
But a lot could change, to be perfectly honest. A lot could change in the next couple of days, because this is where you get the points, you know, going forward. So it all depends. I do not have Duke winning in this pool. So if Duke doesn't win, I got a good chance of winning this pool. But if they do, I think I'm out.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Who do you have winning DBL?
Nice.
Welcome back to DBL. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Well, I despise early morning alarms, and that got me thinking, surely there's got to be a better way that gets me out of bed. Now, I recently caught up with lifestyle vlogger Reba Savetkov to learn how essential oils can help me get up and even help me manage my other daily funks. Check it out. Reba, thank you so much for coming to my house.
Thank you for having me.
I needed you to come over because I feel as though I've been having just really low energy, and there's different points in the day where things just don't seem right, so I need a bit of natural help.
I can help you with essential oils. There's hundreds of essential oils, and they can help from anything from depression and anxiety to nausea and sleeping. Anything that's going on with you, usually there's an essential oil that would help. So what areas can I help you with?
Okay, there's a few. So the first thing is when I wake up in the morning, I'm really sluggish. I find it hard to wake up and just basically get out of bed.
I have one that can help. Peppermint is like gonna wake you up. You can leave the peppermint by your bedside, and all you're gonna do is put a little bit on your palms. It activates the hippocampus in your brain, and it just starts to stimulate everything.
Really?
Yeah, it gets you going. So what next?
Right, so after I've got out of bed, I go to work, and I just need something to help me stay focused.
A great one to help you with focus is rosemary. You can go and buy a roller stick. You're gonna fill it with a carrier oil, and then you're gonna put 5 to 10 drops of rosemary in here. Shake it up, and you can roll it on any of these points on your wrist, on your neck, and it's gonna help you with some memory and focus.
I'm finding that throughout the day, I'm always hungry. So what can you recommend to suppress my appetite a little bit?
Well, one of the great ones is bergamot.
Okay.
It can help in those stressful situations to suppress your appetite and also reduces stress at the same time. So what you would do is fill up one of these bottles with water and about 20 to 30 drops of bergamot, and you can just spritz it all over. So you can spritz it all around yourself or on your face.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to give all of this a go, and it smells so good. Now, a reminder, just because something is natural, it doesn't mean that it's safe. Essential oils can cause allergic reactions, so if using topically, test on a small area of your skin to make sure that it works for you. Coming up on DBL, J-Lo and A-Rod's engagement is brand new, but is their romance already in trouble? That story's ahead, but first, our pint-sized puppy wrangler is back, and he introduces an adorable dog that's looking for a home. That's in today's Roman Rescues, coming up next.
Hey guys, it is Tuesday and you just saw me talking about my experience with essential oils. So I've been a really big fan of aromatherapy for a long time. I really believe in holistic treatments and medicines rather than things necessarily that are from a doctor. Not saying you do not follow my advice. Everyone is each individual and down to their own beliefs and what they think. But I think if there's a homeopathic way of being treated or feeling good about yourself, I always think it's a bit more healthy and natural to try that remedy first. And I had the best time learning about these different oils, and you can use oils for so many different things. If you're feeling tired and sluggish, you can use eucalyptus or peppermint to really give you a pep in your step and perk you up and make you feel good. Or like in the evenings, if you're feeling really tired, lavender is really good to help you go into a deeper, more relaxed state. And I think it's a really nice way of incorporating it into your everyday life to make you just generally feel good. Now, one thing I really learned was that bergamot helps suppress your appetite, and it's great for digestion problems. So if anyone does have those kind of issues, have a look online, maybe talk to someone. You can replay the video we made here at DBL to get some tips. And what I learned is if you get a bottle of water and put a few drops of bergamot in it, and then you spritz it on yourself, it really helps. If you're feeling you can't relax at night, you know, when your head is fizzing, you can't sleep and you're a bit restless, if you have a bath and put some lavender oil in it, that's really good. Or if here in Denver it's really a dry climate, it's so dry, it really affects kind of your breathing, and you need a lot of humidifiers because there's no moisture in the air. You can put a few drops of essential oil into your humidifier and then your place will smell really nice too. So that's a top tip. That's what I do anyway, and I love it. And another thing that I learned was in the morning, if you're sluggish and you struggle getting out of bed, if you use eucalyptus or peppermint, something zingy that's a bit more spicy, shall we say, like a bit more, you can sniff it, you can really smell it, and it helps clear all your lungs. It's a great way to energize yourself in a really natural way. I love it anyway, and it's good if you've got a cold, but don't ever, you know what I did once? I put a load of peppermint into my bath, and it was a hot bath, and it was honestly like I was in a steam room, and the strong was overwhelming, so just be careful. Also, if you've got cats, they're allergic to eucalyptus, not dogs, but cats are very allergic, so you know.
Welcome back to DBL. Our favorite puppy pitchman is back, and this time he has a pup with lots of energy who needs a forever home. Check out today's Roman's Rescue.
Hi everyone, everyone, this is my friend PJ here. He's 6 years old and an owner surrendered.
The owner surrendered because his family was apparently moving and he couldn't go, which is a story that the shelter hears all too often, huh?
Yeah.
He's so friendly. He gets along with other dogs.
And
he's just super happy.
And he's got quite a bit of energy.
He does.
And he knows sit and shake, so he's a very smart dog. As you can see, PJ's at the Augusta Animal Services. Please adopt him.
Oh!
What kind of dog was that?
I think it looked like a Cocker Spaniel. The Spaniels are water dogs. They love the water, but they have great hair.
Even with all that hair?
Yeah, they went and would retrieve the ducks for people. They retrieve it for you. Once you shot the duck, they go in the water and get it.
I get the concept of shooting and retrieving.
Just making sure you're on board.
All right. I don't know, with all the hair, it might smell like
it's protecting.
Dog.
Yeah, it's going to be a hairy mess if you don't want that.
Riveting. All right, guys, here's what's coming up next on Daily Blast Live. Adopt a pet today.
Sexting strike against A-Rod. We'll tell you who's accusing him of sending naughty texts just days before popping the question to J-Lo. Then, Justin Bieber says he needs a break to repair deep-rooted issues. Will the superstar be able to find himself before he becomes a dad? And in mother news, it's baby fever. The celebrity moms who are welcoming new additions to their families when DBL comes back.
Disney is now the most powerful movie studio. The movie Us is getting rave reviews, Disney takes their Star Wars video game business to a new studio, and Google is entering into the gaming world. That's all next in The Jump Off. I'm Abby, and welcome to The Jump Off. I'm here to bring you all the latest news in gaming, tech, and nerd culture, so let's get started right now. Disney is officially the most powerful movie studio ever. It's because their $71.3 billion acquisition of Fox Entertainment is now complete. This means Disney now owns Aliens, Die Hard, Avatar, The Simpsons, Family Guy, X-Men, and more. Keep in mind, Disney already owns Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Marvel. Disney pretty much owns your whole childhood at this point. Reviews are in for Jordan Peele's new horror film, Us. The film follows a family confronted by their creepy lookalikes. At last check, it has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. The New York Times calls the movie an expansive philosophical hall of mirrors. The Seattle Times says Lupita Nyong'o's performance is, quote, wow. Make sure to check out the Double Jump team's review on YouTube. That is all I'm gonna watch because I'm way too big of a baby and I'm staying away from this one. Disney is taking its video game business elsewhere. Video game giant Electronic Arts had the Star Wars license, but all their games disappointed. Their practices were so bad, countries changed their laws. This means Lucasfilm's video game division will be taking over development of all Star Wars titles starting in 2023. Welcome back, guys. We missed you. Google is entering the video game market with their new streaming service, Stadia. Their new system allows people to play games on the go, on your TV, computer, or your phone. But can Google conquer this part of the tech industry? Only time will tell, and we'll keep our eye on this one. That's it for The Jump Off. As always, I'll be here every week with the latest in gaming, tech, and nerd culture news. We'll see you next time.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Because everyone's talking about this.
Always live. Always real. Always unpredictable.
You are totally off base here.
Log on and join our live conversation.
You think this hair just naturally stays like this?
DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. We're live and we're talking about what you're talking about right now. Let's get to it, guys. Is there trouble in paradise? More rumors are swirling right now that A-Rod may have been unfaithful to his fiancée J-Lo. Former Playboy playmate Zoe Gregory claims A-Rod begged her for threesomes and sexted her. She tells The Sun this happened just weeks before the couple got engaged, but this isn't the first accusation like this for A-Rod. Right after he proposed, former baseball star Jose Canseco accused A-Rod of cheating with his ex-wife Jessica.
Great, Jose.
Wow. However, Jessica says it's not true.
Cinco de Mayo, they took that picture.
He's feeling good.
He is feeling good about his chances.
Hey, that's around the corner, by the way.
I'm ready. So apparently so is Jose. Wow.
Any truth to this, Erica?
I don't know, but I do know that he seems to have a type. The last time he got caught up in a mistress scandal. The woman looked very similar. But I think a lot of people are saying because they were so public and people are coming for their relationship, and that could be the case, or she could actually be somebody who he's been trying to connect with.
Yes.
Yeah. There might be a little J-Lo, A-Rod fatigue. They're definitely curating their image as like the perfect couple, and it's like at some point, it's a little much, and I think people are coming forward.
Would you say everybody does that to on some scale?
You're going to be overexposed, but I think at some point, when you're really smart, sort of people like the Tom Hanks and the other people, they don't push it so hard so you're not getting trapped by other people coming forward out of the woodwork. I mean, they're calling for people to come out with all of this publicity.
I feel like they don't have to go to every party. They don't have to get every award. You know who does this? That kind of reminds me, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, but you can tell John Legend doesn't really want it, so it's more Chrissy Teigen. But they go in the spotlight, I guess, when they need to, when they want to. It seems like this couple, I don't mean to be mean, but it's like they want to be the #1 couple. They want to be in that spotlight.
But I don't agree with that, because I think that, first of all, people are really hard on things that a lot of us aspire to be. People want to be successful. They want to be happy. And I think that when you're happy, you have a tendency to want to be out more, to really be more outwardly, have more outwardly moments with your significant other. I don't find that to be anything. You have to remember, anywhere that A-Rod and J-Lo are is the place.
But and I agree with you, but on their Instagram, if you look at J-Lo, it's 10,000 pictures of him like this in the wall, and then they're never not together posing. It's never just normal. And I guess I know it is couple goals, but it's almost too perfect for couple goals for me.
But they're not selling anything but a brand, though, right? Erica, could you make the argument that they're like, hey, he doesn't play baseball anymore and I don't sing, so what are they doing except selling the image of themselves, right?
Well, I think the difference is when you talked about like Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, it's like that's not how they came to fame. Like, these people came to fame in a real social media frenzied world. So what else is there to do but just live your life, and every time you go somewhere or do something, it's the thing. You can't escape that. Yeah. We're going to have the same conversation about Bieber soon. And where is there for you to go? What is there for you to do? Do you stay at home all the time?
Well, you certainly to me, you certainly don't have to take posed perfect pictures at every time. I'm not like offended by this, but it doesn't feel transparent or authentic in any way.
But if they started taking photos of their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and their days of sitting around rocking in regular rocking chairs outside of crickety houses, then people are going to say they're trying too hard.
But like,
I mean, think about Kim and Kanye.
I know,
they
but like,
keep taking pictures in pedestrian homes that you know they're complete. Like, why are you taking a picture in that house with the outdated kitchen?
All right.
You don't know.
We're done. We're going to talk about them tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't matter. They're going to take another picture at a crickety old rickety house. All right, we're going to move on. Actress Mandy Moore is getting her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and a lot of big names came out for the big celebration, including her fellow cast members on This Is Us and her former co-star Shane West from A Walk to Remember, which was beautiful. He was there too. So look at this cute pic she posted. Oh, and listen to what Mandy had to say about receiving the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Recently, I have found myself stepping into my power in a new way. I have. I'm finally starting to understand and own who I am. I've discovered a sense of authenticity and confidence in what's next. And I feel really lucky.
I love Mandy Moore. I always had like a crush on her growing up, and I'm telling you, that movie Walk to Remember, it's very sad.
Does Belle Biv DeVoe have a star on the Walk of Fame?
I don't know.
If she has one and they don't, I'll walk off the show right now. I don't understand the criteria. I don't understand the criteria in which you get a star on the face. She has got a show that's been going for 3 seasons, and she had a hit song 20 years ago.
So you get nominated. I looked into this because I, in some respects, agree with Al. I didn't understand why she was getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Have you seen The Walk to Remember?
No.
Like Lionel Richie.
You haven't?
Wonder on
No.
it.
Okay, you'd be thinking differently, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, at some point, you get nominated, and then you pay for your star. So at some point.
Yeah, but you have to be put up.
You get nominated. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, I'm not sure also why she's getting a star. If I'm
Erica, you're
honest.
making a face.
No, I'm kind of stuck on Belle Biv DeVoe, where that came from.
Because they have years of hit songs. They have one of the most. They were in a boy band, then they were a
okay,
man
this isn't
band.
about
So
Belle
like, I'm saying that they had this has nothing to do with Belle Biv DeVoe.
No, it doesn't.
But everything in my life kind of does.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But no.
But I would say this, and I don't know who deserves one, who doesn't. I think there's a lot of people who have stars that don't necessarily deserve them in a lot of people's eyes. But I do like what she's saying, because I think that this is something that's really important, especially for women and young girls to think about. When you can be fully and authentically, unapologetically who you are, then there is power in that. And she has been someone who we've seen in the spotlight since she was 12 or 13 years old. She's clearly recreated herself. She's very secure with who she is now. And it's important for her to come out and say those things so that people who are feeling like they're coming into their own aren't told that they're too much and they need to sit down.
Erica, I love that. What does that have to do with the star?
That was her speech.
I know, but what does that have to? How does she get a star?
We were talking about. We just showed a clip
that.
of the woman's speech. At least I'm talking about the woman's speech, not Belle Biv DeVoe. Okay, Al.
Which, by the way, I just looked up, and it says Belle Biv DeVoe on how it feels to receive a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame exclusive interview.
So what date is that?
You can check it out on Ricky Smiley morning show.
Okay, there we go.
That's what I ended up on.
What year was that?
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. There you go, Al. So that whole
That
point
took a while.
was for no point.
Too late. I'm just saying, I don't know how she got that star. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, can you name anything besides that one movie that she's been in, Jeff?
How many movies were Belle Biv DeVoe in?
A couple.
House Party 3?
They were. I didn't have one.
Who were the little kids in that movie? No.
Another Bad Creation.
Yes. There we go. All right, it's time for my favorite beat, the Bieber beat, but we have some sad news right now. We have new details on singer Justin Bieber's battle with depression. He has talked about it many times before and now posted this photo on Instagram with a lengthy caption that says in part, quote, "I was unhappy last tour and I don't deserve that, and you don't deserve that. I am now very focused on repairing some of the deep-rooted issues that I have so that I don't fall apart, so that I can sustain my marriage and be the father I want to be." And he goes on in a very lengthy message. I actually was looking at it yesterday when we were on the show. I feel bad for this kid. You know what I mean? He's never known a normal life, which a lot of people might say, oh, boo-hoo, you're going to be famous. He's going through something that's very real, and we talk about every day on the show, and I feel like he's sharing with the public when maybe he should keep it private. But his life is just, I don't know if he knows what it's like to have a real friend that might be there for him because he's...
Or just a normal day.
Just because he's not just
important to have just a normal, lazy Sunday is? To just be like, oh, what did me and Anthony do? I don't know. We woke up at 1, 8, went back to bed, washed some clothes, and went to bed. That's a good day. And he's never gotten that. Anytime he's tried to have it, he's accosted.
Yeah, I would say what I don't envy is the idea of having really nothing to look forward to. I mean, at 25, he's checked off every single box that anyone could possibly have for an entire lifetime. It's like, you don't have any money to look forward to. You don't have experiences to look forward to.
You know what he has to look forward to? He has normalcy. Because again, from the age of 2, this was a drum prodigy who then Usher took under his wing, and he just skyrocketed. And maybe when he says, I want to be the father and I want to be the husband, he wants normalcy because it's the one thing he's never got. So to me, I hope he breaks off of social media. I don't know if he can, but at least tries to find some normalcy on a lazy Sunday kind of afternoon, like you said.
Yeah.
That can be
You guys both made
hopeful.
very interesting points. I never thought that maybe his normalcy is like for everybody else's dream is if he's just like, could I just sit on the couch with my kid?
I mean, that's what Michael Jackson, when we watched that's all he wanted was to sort of be in a suburban home because he never had that.
Right.
It's interesting.
Well, we're wishing Biebs the best.
That's right, Biebs.
All right, guys. Game of Thrones fans will want to grab the latest issue of Rolling Stone magazine because Stephanie Jones has the story that's coming in hot.
That's right, Game of Thrones fans are buzzing about the April issue of Rolling Stone, and that's because 2 major stars from the HBO series are on the front cover. Maisie Williams and Sophie Turner, who played the Stark sisters on the hit series, open up about their time on the show and their real-life friendship. The article describes how they became fast friends while reading their first scripts back in 2009, and they have been inseparable ever since. Sophie Turner also talks about season 8, telling the magazine she is very satisfied with how the show ends. The final season premieres on April the 14th, and I can't wait. I think that means a Stark's going to be on that throne, Jeff.
You know I'm an Arya Stark fan. My number 1.
It's Khaleesi all the way.
Really?
Erica,
Yeah,
who do
she
you
can walk
expect?
through fire.
Erica's on her phone.
Erica, what do you think? I'm on my break.
Oh, she doesn't watch it. Every time she gets a phone call right now.
We're going to force you to watch Game of Thrones.
Yes. Anthony's your husband. We're going to take him.
Yeah.
We're going to invite him to Game of Thrones.
He's coming to take my husband.
Yes.
He's coming to our side.
We've been planning it for months.
It's a Game of Thrones move.
It is a very Game of Thrones move. If you watch the show, you know our strategy.
Over here. You can have him back when you watch the show.
If you would watch it, you would have saw us coming. I'm just saying. Coming up on DBL, a Grammy-winning singer makes a big announcement on social media, but it's not about her music. Also, the sweetest video you'll see today. You don't want to miss a very special moment with actress Hilary Duff and her baby daughter. That's coming up next.
Does
We are live. We need your help to get us to convince Erica to watch Game of Thrones. Look, she saw us time. I know it's overwhelming. I think what they said it's 2.5 days of binge watching.
Straight through, it would be
really?
2.5 days.
Really?
Straight through.
It's 7 seasons.
But it's such an epic journey of life, of good, of evil.
Me too. I would say
of greed, of
Erica,
need.
did you watch the first episode? Did you try?
No.
What if we asked her to watch for just 10 minutes?
I went to
10 minutes.
I went to your house.
I know.
And I watched the episode.
She did try.
Yeah, you got to get it. I mean, Jordan, I don't think would get into it.
Brooks doesn't like it. He doesn't like fantasy, so I'm alone being like, don't go there, dragon! Dracanius!
But Jordan liked The Last Kingdom, which is kind of like...
It's Game of Thrones with no magic.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been watching it, by the way.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
I like
in episode 5.
How many seasons are there?
3.
I need something. I'm watching a lot of Swedish and Nordic things on TV, like murder mysteries. Hold on. There are only 9 episodes. You gotta give me more. Because in Europe, they do it differently.
I kind of like that. It's called the British model.
Yeah.
They'll do like a season will be 6 episodes, sometimes 6 half-hour episodes.
And I'm dying here.
I mean, like short.
I am learning Swedish.
I got into a new show.
What?
Turn Up Charlie.
I heard about
is
Turn Up Charlie.
Oh.
Amazing.
With Idris Elba, no?
Yes.
What's it about?
It's about a DJ who's not popular anymore and gets taken under a more successful friend's wing to be the Manny.
Yeah. Idris Elba plays the Manny.
Has anyone saw OA? I don't mean to dismiss that.
I tried to.
It sucked.
Oh, really?
It sucked. The ending was not worth it.
I don't know if we can say that word.
Oh, it was the first season. I was so invested and it was so interesting, and then the ending came, and you're like, we waited all of that for this. So the new season's coming on. I didn't like it. John seems like you didn't love it. The ending was really not worth it.
And do you have any? Who's got suggestions for good Netflix shows?
I just told you.
I wasn't listening. I was listening to this, and then towards the end, I'm like, wait, I think we're talking about.
I've been watching Murder Mountain.
I've been watching Murder Mountain.
All the people that disappear in Humboldt County.
Oh yeah.
From the marijuana trade, because it's
good.
Welcome back to DBL. Social media is popping, and some really amazing moms are talking about their babies. So we're breaking it all down in Mother News. That was anticlimactic a little bit, right?
It was.
Actress Hilary Duff is loving motherhood for the second time around, sharing this adorable sweet birth video 5 months after welcoming her daughter Banks into the world. The baby girl reached for a hug in the first moments of her life. Did you see that? Let's watch it again. Or for the first.
Here, guys. You did it. I know.
Oh,
big hug, Mama.
That was cute. In this caption, Hilary says, it was as though Banks was saying, good job, Mom. Hilary had a home birth with her boyfriend Matt by her side, and her son Luca from a previous marriage was playing with Legos downstairs through it all. Oh, that was cute.
So sweet.
Good on him. I mean, it's enough with the medicine and all that, but having a water birth at home? Wow.
I told that to Brooks that if I ever did get pregnant, I would love to have a water birth at home, and he just laughed and walked away.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, were you thinking about that?
Yeah, I 100% wanted it, and he was like,
why?
it's not happening. I think it's a beautiful thing, and you're in your own control. There's a lot of times you can't walk around.
You also know it's not in their medical equipment.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a lot of things that are out of your control. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
I kind of thought it would be a nice thing to have, because at some point in hospitals, you're tied down. You can't get up and walk. You can't eat.
Tied down?
Down.
Yeah, you're like on IVs, and they don't let you get up and walk.
IVs to hydrate you, yeah.
I know that. I'm just saying, in a lot of homes.
All right, well, we'll just blow a kiddie pool and put some Jell-O in there and we'll have some kids. Like, no.
No one said anything about Jello.
I don't know. You're trying to make this about comfort. I like to have things beeping. I like things plugged in.
A lot of people say home births are because you feel like you're not a human being. You're just a vessel for the baby, and you don't get to be a human being. At a water birth, you do. You're in control. You get to walk around.
Erica, please decide
it's
who's right
true.
here.
That's exactly
I've never
right.
been pregnant, so I can't really comment.
Neither have I.
Exactly. So maybe we shouldn't be.
But don't you say that the hospital?
And I was happy I was in the hospital.
Me too. Oh my goodness, yes.
I would be nervous wreck if I was at
Brooks
home
was like, it's
and
not
you were
happening.
giving a birth in a kiddie pool.
I know, that's what
I'd be freaking out. Honestly, I would.
It really.
I would be.
I do see the beauty, and I feel like it will be comfortable and maybe definitely natural. But just if anything goes wrong.
Well, know that person, there was somebody with her, a doula or someone, and I'm sure.
Yeah, and what does she have with her?
I'm sure she has medical training at some point. You don't just like.
Does she have stuff with her? Does she have an attaché case?
I'm sure she
with
does.
Some needles and stuff in there?
I'm just saying that some women feel that they get rushed in, C-sectioned out, and they're not feeling the birth themselves. They haven't been part of the birth, and this is a way to feel part of the birth.
Okay. As long as everything goes great.
That's Tori's theory.
It did. It did. I didn't think we'd go there.
I'm with you, Tori.
Okay.
I'm with you. Just invite me weeks after. All right. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Did you guys get that? That was singer Alanis Morissette. You guys didn't get it from that. She's pregnant again as well.
Boy.
She posted this to Instagram announcing her third pregnancy at age 44. Alanis has 2 kids with her husband, ages 2 and 8, and she gave birth on the beach.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
It's a water birth.
It's a step up from the kiddie pool.
It is. It's a whole ocean of things. This is great. I do think, and you've actually told me a lot, older pregnancies are somewhat more. You have to be more careful.
I'm not against them, and I know we always talk about this on the show, but you do have to be more careful. She is up there in age, and I think maybe some of her finances could buy her better equipment, better doctors. I'm not sure what it entails, but there's a lot of risks, not only for the baby, but for the mother as well. So I just want to look out for moms out there. Erica's making a face. We always get in this conversation. I always knew this, but it is. I look out. I'm concerned for my wife at a certain point if I really want kids or not. That's all?
Nothing?
We constantly have this conversation.
We do.
Well, let's have it again because we have new viewers.
It's very strange because it's like, okay, well, clearly I'm 38 years old. I haven't been pregnant. If I'm going to be a mother, I'm going to be an older mother. So, like, going back and forth about is it okay? Well, for some of us, it's not an option. And to be very clear about it, there's a reason why I waited so long to become a mother if that's in the cards for me. So some of us have prioritized other things while other people wanted to be sure that they could have healthier pregnancies by getting pregnant younger.
Why'd you encourage her?
I was just asking. Sorry.
Next time you fight with her.
Sorry.
Coming up on Daily Blast Live, a
just focus on the prompter, Jeff.
About a former pastor with Alzheimer's. Find out why his family is absolutely sure his faith is still strong. That's next on DBL.
DBL Nation, it's Lex. I'm here with the DBL Digital team, giving you guys more top trending stories during the breaks here at Daily Blast Live.
Doesn't she look great? I feel
Isn't
so
his
low.
seat so low?
Why am I sitting here
I
like
thought
this?
when I was sitting in his seat earlier, I was
a toddler.
like falling. There's a lot of falling.
There's a lot of material here. What's going on, Lex?
Cute dress.
Thanks.
Where's
I
it
appreciate
from?
it. Jones, New York. It's vintage, and I feel smart about it.
You sound smart.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So anyway, this story is pretty interesting. So Mattel, they do Barbie. They're coming out with a new fashion doll is what they're calling it. So it's not called a Barbie, and it's a BTS. Do you know what BTS is?
Behind the scenes? Right, I really didn't think it was that.
So BTS is a K-pop group.
Oh yeah, no, I do know that. No, I really do. I know I say I do. And
well, let's explain who BTS is.
BTS is that group that got gazillion people following them. They're a boy band in South Korea.
She's looking at me. She's like,
Am I right? Am I right? And they are people are obsessed, almost like to Beatlemania with these people.
Well, I think the most incredible part of it is they're a Korean like pop group, and K-pop is super popular for a very specific group of people, especially in America. And BTS has been on Ellen. They've been on any morning show here in the U.S. They do tours out here. Have done some incredible things.
So it's a BTS doll?
Yeah, it's BTS doll. So I think Leo has photos for you guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have any photos.
No,
for
that's
you,
okay.
Tori.
Is it a male doll?
Yeah, there's 7 of them. 7 members of BTS. They're wearing like very bright colored suits, neon colored hair, very
And you can
colorful.
switch it out and stuff?
Yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna come out with a whole fashion line. I mean, Korean European fashion is like very eclectic.
And Poppy, what's huge here is that it's a fashion doll, but we're discussing a 7 men, a boy band. I think this is incredible for Mattel to have made this, because we know Barbie has been seen as somewhat sexist in the past.
Super inclusive move.
Nice.
I think so.
BTS.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about one of my favorite topics, faith. Watch how a man is using the Word of God to keep him going through the fight of his life. This former pastor with Alzheimer's finds clarity in preaching. Jim Green spent his life as a pastor and missionary. In his old age, he developed Alzheimer's, which has stolen most of his memories from him.
It's pretty full-blown.
But despite his condition, he still retains his ability to preach the Word of God.
Well, I've learned that with God, there is no getting even.
For his family, it's painful to see the man they knew slip away. But the lessons he preached and still preaches keep them going.
The faith that we learned from him is what is sustaining us now as he goes through this.
Even though his memories continue to fade, Jim's faith is still as strong as ever.
Even in the midst of the Alzheimer's and all that it does to you, he still has that deep love for God's Word and for sharing it.
Absolutely beautiful. We will be right back.
Hey guys, so I'm going to have a look at some of your comments and see what you guys are commenting on throughout the show. Okay, so we've been talking about sugar tax in America, and in England there is definitely a tax on sugary products, also food and drink, and it's becoming more and more popular because people don't want their children to be consuming as much sugar because it can lead obviously to health issues, diabetes, so many different things. And now in England, we've kind of been a bit used to that for some time. So I'm going to see, we've got a comment here from Sarah Lucas on Facebook saying, when I was growing up, we drank water from the spricket. What's a spricket? What's a spricket? And it wasn't chilled.
Water hose outside.
A water hole outside?
You just take it up and just drink it like that.
Oh, like a water fountain. So we'd call that a water
fountain.
Not
a fountain, just the hose, like from the side of the house.
Oh, a water
hose. You just take it, and, you know, when you're a kid, you're outside, just turn it on, just...
Okay, so and she said, I like that. You're funny, Sarah. And she said soda were for family nights or special occasions. Okay, so in my house, definitely that was the case. All fizzy drinks were kind of banned. But that actually worked against me because, so my mum is a dental orthodontist and she does teeth. So she was always really against sugary snacks and sugary drinks. We weren't allowed any in the house. It was really annoying. And then what happened was I completely rebelled. And then the minute I was old enough to kind of buy my own treats and snacks and I went to school, I would buy Coca-Cola. And I used to drink so much Coca-Cola, I'm not joking, I drank more Coca-Cola than anything else. Like, I remember sometimes drinking like a few cans of Coke a day and no water. And I actually full on went to a, I think rehab sounds really extreme. It wasn't a rehab place, but I went on a cleanse for like a week where I didn't have anything other than natural fruits and vegetables, healthy soups, on purpose to stop drinking. That is no word of a lie, to stop drinking Coca-Cola. I love it so much. I have to be really careful and really watch how much I drink.
No word of a lie. I heard in Australia.
I hope you can hear this. Really?
Yeah, and I was like, I've never heard that
I honestly would crave Coca-Cola so much because it gives you a spike of energy, and I didn't drink coffee, I didn't drink very much tea at the time. Now I'm a total tea addict. But I think it was a bit of caffeine, a bit of sugar, and yeah, it was obviously, it wasn't very expensive, maybe like $1 for a can or something like that, the equivalent. So I completely condone the sugar tax, and I think we should be made more aware. And my mum was obviously just trying to do the best thing for me by not encouraging me to drink and eat fizzy, sugary sweets and snacks. But as soon as I got my hands on some pocket money, that was the first thing I did. Honestly, I used to drink a lot. Sometimes a whole day would go by and I only drank Coca-Cola, so I'm all for it. Scott Rambler says, how about some parenting and health classes in schools? I agree. The more information, the better.
Welcome back to DBL, and oh boy, do we have a final story for you. Birth control for men might come sooner than you think. Yeah, you heard me right. The study results are showing that guys who took the drug had no serious side effects, but here's the downer. Guys could still get headaches, acne, decreased libido, and mild erectile dysfunction.
Speaking of downer.
Researchers say it could hit the market within 10 years.
Real timely.
Here we go.
Okay, but you have to understand that when I was taking Yaz, you dealt with really horrible things like sexual libido being decreased, you had depression, blood clots I had to get off of, you have weight gain, belly gain, you have severe bone problems. So for men to be like, man, this is a big issue, I'm like, welcome to the world, dude. Sorry you didn't say anything yet.
I don't know.
Wow, we didn't even get a chance to talk.
I preempted, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you don't go through a lot. Obviously you do, but I mean, I feel like those side effects are very severe for the guy. Very severe.
It said mild.
No, mild something else.
I know, but I'm just saying this is a few people getting some side effects, but I think you have to understand that we've been going through this for decades and no one has understood that, I think, in the...
What about the side effect of having a baby that you can't afford or take care of? Has no one considered that as a part of, I don't know if I could take a pill, but I'll just have a child that I'm not prepared for.
What's up with condoms? When did those leave the conversation?
Clearly, people aren't using them.
Well, so they better use them for the next 10 years.
Do you trust, if you were 22, would you take this every day?
We're out of time.
All right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Excuses.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah, excuses right here.